Welcome everybody to the Ring Generals podcast. My name is Nick Nenad. Alongside with me is Eric.
What's happening?
And the RKJ man.
Let's talk that talk, y'all. Happy birthday, Hypocritical Nick.
Thank you so much.
Happy birthday, brother.
Blackstradamus, RKJ man.
I am Blackstradamus.
Eric, I cannot come up with a nickname off the top of my head, so I'll come up with something in about 5
I
minutes.
got many nicknames,
No worries,
man.
How many nicknames do you have?
Multiple. Big Dick Johnson,
Big Dick Johnson is not a real nickname.
Blackstradamus, the RKJ man, Swag on a Mill, Greatness
Well,
Personified.
actually, according to this podcast, the RKJ man is your name, so that's not technically a nickname.
That is my name, actually.
What was the last one you said?
Swag on a Mill, Greatness Personified.
Who has called
Who
you
gave
these
you that
names?
name?
Who's called
Oh,
you
I
these
gave
names?
me that name.
Okay, that's
Oh,
Give
you
myself
okay.
that
No,
name.
That's
count.
you. Okay.
See,
Sorry,
that's
I had to
problem.
give myself
We talk
that
about
name.
MMA on this podcast. Guys that give themselves nicknames, it means less than guys that get the
Not
nickname.
if you know how to run
given.
with it, because I know how to run with the RKJ man. I know how to run with Greatness Personified.
Well,
I know how to
my
run with
name
Big
is-
Dick Johnson.
Hey, my name is already normal enough, so I don't need to do a.
Nobody ever give you a
Nobody
nickname?
has my last name, so nobody can claim that my name is
Yeah.
made up. Eric Santos, on the other hand,
There's a lot of
a
Santos.
lot of Eric Santos.
A lot
out
of
there.
Santos.
I don't
Dos
know about
Santos?
Eric. I don't know about Eric Santos, but I know a lot of
He
Santos.
should be Santos Eric.
Maybe.
That's his Instagram, dude. Santos Eric 9,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
Well,
No, it's not Eric.
No, it's just
It's just
Santos.
Santos
It's just Santos
You
9.
don't even
That's
know
what it
his
is.
Instagram
Where did you get
handle,
9
bro.
from?
I don't know. It's just like I created back on YouTube an old YouTube channel back in freshman year, and I just put up the 9 because they kept saying that you can't use
you have to have a
the
number?
name.
That's
you have to put a
hilarious.
number. I don't know why.
Yeah, this
YouTube
is
was
so-
just being.
He just looked
Yeah.
and he's like, boom, just click the thing on the
Yeah,
keyboard.
and then
He
like
was
as soon as it was
randomly looking
approved,
at.
boom, it's good.
Dude, it's been a wild week. We got a lot of wrestling
Oh my
stuff to talk
gosh.
about.
Oh, yeah.
All In is this weekend. Nick was late to the podcast, big
was 2
time.
minutes late to
He
the
was
podcast.
more than 2 minutes late. Then I went
5
outside.
minutes.
I went outside to get something to eat, and then he's criticizing me and saying I'm late for the podcast now. We got a lot of good stuff to talk about
Are you
today.
pissed right now, RKJ
Oh,
man?
I'm super pissed.
Nice.
It's a good thing
Nice.
on
I'm
the podcast.
super pissed.
It's a good thing when he's mad because he's been kind of passive the last couple
Yeah.
podcasts.
Wrestling and
I
non-wrestling,
think
I'm
the
pissed
last-
off with Nick
Here's
right
why.
now.
His
Yeah.
Ryan Rants is going to be very interesting today. Not going to give anything away, but his Ryan Rants is going to be interesting. You guys
Non-wrestling
wanna-
today.
You guys
It's
are
gonna
gonna
be
wanna hear
somebody.
this. Yes. We almost should just switch it up and have your Ryan Rants be non-wrestling, and I should do something wrestling on my
All right.
non-wrestling segment.
Just for today.
No.
Just for today.
No?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
my
know.
segment. I can do whatever I want with it,
Whatever you
actually.
want to do,
Actually,
man.
yeah.
Hey, look, it's New Jack Saturday. I just saw
New Jack
that.
Saturday.
It's New Jack Saturday. I don't know. I was just trying to fuck the bitch.
What time is that, Eric, on the
That
thing?
was 2 minutes and 55 seconds. 2 minutes already in. It's
I'm
already saying the
sorry.
F word.
What can I say, man? I love Jesus,
That was-
man, but
that
I
was-
got a foul mouth,
That was
man.
the RKJ Man's inner New Jack came out. That's not actually him that said that.
I love Jesus, but man, I got to work on my cussing, man. I already talked to this one girl. She was like, "You really need to work on that." I was like, "I'm trying to, Lord, but I ain't perfect." As J. Cole would say, nobody's perfect.
Oh man.
I think a lot of other people have said that besides J. Cole. But
He's a great song, and I just
Good
recently
song.
him listen.
Yeah, actually, yeah, very good song.
With him
artist,
and Mary
too.
J. Blige.
So what should we? Well, we want to talk about SummerSlam, right?
I want to
So-
see if Blastradamus was right again, and if all my
Let's do
SummerSlam
that.
predictions.
Oh, absolutely. So
correct.
We will start out the SummerSlam kind of recap. We'll do a little bit of SummerSlam recap, and then we'll kind of move on to what's happened the last 2 weeks because we have 4 shows to talk about as well. We also have a little bit of NXT to talk about too. But so, of course, if you listened to the last podcast, you know that we predicted the matches. We tried to say who was going to win, who was going to lose.
Like
And
everybody
guys-
else.
And guys, we do have a winner.
Okay.
But a little bit of controversy.
What?
Okay, not with the winner, with second place and third place. Now,
Really?
if
Who
you
was
look at
number
this,
one?
if
I
you
don't
look
care
at
about number 2 or 3.
If you look at this, though, well, no, because it matters for some points.
For some points. What were we in fantasy?
Kind of it's fantasy booking,
Fantasy booking.
fantasy predicting. So in the Bludgeon Brothers New Day match at SummerSlam, the match ended obviously with the New Day with a win, but the Bludgeon Brothers
Retain the
retain
title.
the
Yeah.
title. So the RKJ man said on the podcast, I believe the Bludgeon Brothers will retain their titles, but Eric and I picked the New Day to win. So I gave everybody points on that one.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
Is that
cool.
okay?
That's
A freebie,
fine.
yeah.
That's
Okay.
fine.
So then there's a tie at second.
Okay.
So for who the 2 guys that lost with 7 points, 7 wins out of whatever this is.
11 matches.
11
13
matches.
No, that was like
10
14.
matches.
Okay,
10
that's-
matches.
yeah.
Oh, we're not counting the pre-show.
70%, that's a C for these two guys. The RKJ man
Ah, that's BS.
lost.
I don't believe
Nostradamus
that.
is no longer his name. And Eric Santos, the winner,
Boom.
by
That's-
unanimous
oh, yeah.
decision,
That's BS.
getting
That's what I'm talking
9
about.
out of
BS.
10
That's what I'm talking about.
decisions. The only one I lost, I believe, was let me see. I'm trying to remember. Doesn't matter.
Nah, man.
90%.
I'm not accepting that. I'm not
90
accepting that. I want to see the result. I want to see it
All
on
you
your
have
phone.
all you have to do is just go back in the podcast and listen.
No,
If
I just
lied,
want to see it on your phone.
It's
no,
not-
put
I
it,
check
put
it out
it
on
up
SoundCloud,
on YouTube and
YouTube.
SoundCloud.
did it on a
Put
piece
it
of
up on
paper.
YouTube and SoundCloud. 977. You just calculate. You just had some numbers down. You could have just been like, I'm late to the podcast. Let me just calculate some numbers.
How else would I have written down the stuff?
I don't know.
I gave
There
someone
could
a
be-
point when they got it right.
There could be something you did. I don't trust it. 977. Blackstradamus is never
All
right.
you have to do.
Blackstradamus
was
predicted.
wrong 3 times.
I told you that the
on
demon
Sunday.
was coming out on Sunday. That Sunday. I
You
told
did not. I listened
No,
to
you
the whole
didn't.
thing.
I didn't hear
Well,
any
I
of that.
told you on the phone. at
Well,
least. I
we
told you
pre-
on the
that
phone.
doesn't count.
We said that.
Demon was
We
coming.
said-
It's not stone.
Blackstradamus.
There was no Omarosa on the other side of that phone recording our tapes. There was no
Oh,
Omarosa to hear
man.
that, man. Yeah, I forget what match I got wrong, but we actually did a good job of predicting stuff. The Becky Lynch turn, we all actually predicted that was going to happen.
Oh, I knew it
Yeah.
was going to happen.
Yeah.
Pretty
Good
good pop
Lord.
when people erupted.
I believe.
Oh yeah.
Well, and I think one of them that
getting
got
the
one of
feeling.
them that won it for me and lost it for you guys was when I said Charlotte was going to win. You guys said Carmella was going to win. We all of us didn't think Lynch was going to win. We all thought Lynch was going to lose and then attack Charlotte at the end.
Absolutely.
So we were about half right.
Because
on
it
that.
just furthers the storyline.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
you guys were about half right, and I was 100% correct. So, nonetheless, we got a good SummerSlam. At least in my opinion, I thought it was a good SummerSlam.
It was alright.
If you
was okay.
still have a
Hypocritical
bias,
Nick came out at the end,
if you
though.
still have a bias against Roman Reigns, then you probably didn't think that pay-per-view is good. But then you're never going to think any pay-per-view is good because you don't like Roman Reigns. So you have to give all the rest of the matches credit. There really wasn't any duds on this
So, Nick,
card.
let me ask you a question, okay? I want to get into this because about a month or so ago, you said, hey, I'm not watching that match. And you went from, hey,
Unless they build it well.
I'm not watching that match.
Unless they build it
Hold
well.
on. You went from, hey, I'm not watching that match to now, I'm so excited to see
Well,
that
you're
match.
leaving it out,
to now,
though. You're
hold on, hold
leaving
on,
the
hold on,
headline
hold on.
out, though.
But at the end of the day, you weren't for Roman Reigns just like all of us, and all of a sudden you just did a 180
Except-
in the text message group, and you said,
Except
hey,
I
it's Roman
said
Reigns.
if they build it right, I will watch the match.
It wasn't built right.
Yes, it was.
For the most...
In my opinion, it was built right, so I changed my mind. I stated this twice on the podcast that I liked the way it was building because Paul Heyman was writing it, and that it was entertaining. And I had a feeling something was gonna happen with the cash in at the end, so I'm like, I'll watch it. I'm not gonna not watch it and not see someone cash in.
But at the end of the day,
Either.
we've all already talked about this both on the podcast and off the podcast. You still aren't really the biggest fan of Roman Reigns. So at the end
But
of the
that
day,
doesn't mean I didn't want him to win
and you
over Brock
told me,
Lesnar.
no, man, you said this. No, you're changing what you said, man. You changing what you said. We're gonna have to listen to previous episodes. You can look it up on our
You
YouTube,
can
and
listen.
SoundCloud, and tell us if we're wrong.
We're not
Because
wrong. We all know I'm
subscribe
right, and
because
he's wrong.
I need
Well,
to know because you said
the
that
only
period
thing-
you were not watching that match.
Here's
you
the
said.
thing.
You said you
Unless
were
they
not watching
book
that.
it right.
No,
You're
you said
leaving-
you weren't watching that match.
you are-
period.
you
And
are-
even if you said that, hey, unless they book it right, you still don't like Roman
Anybody
Reigns.
That
who's
doesn't mean
listening
I'm not
right
gonna
now,
watch the
So you're the definition of a hypocrite.
anybody-
Hypocritical
This is
Nick.
why we get Ryan mad. before the podcast.
anybody who's listening right now, you guys can go back and actually listen
100%,
to our
please.
episodes and actually correct the RKJ man or Nick.
Correct.
Or Eric.
Or me. Okay? Three of us. You know, if we are wrong on
Once
some
they're gonna come
things.
back and say Eric says all this blasphemous stuff. He's
Yeah.
wrong all the time.
Nah, I'm the blasphemous one.
It's gonna be all on him.
Yeah, so
I'm the blasphemous one.
please correct us if we did anything might have biased or maybe hypocritical. Yes, please do that
Yes,
for us.
call me out.
Hypocritical
please.
Nick.
Call us out.
Call
me out.
out hypocritical Nick,
if,
please.
especially if Corey Graves is listening and he
Hi,
wants
Corey
to debate
Graves.
with the RKJ man.
It's me, the RKJ man. Please slide in my DMs. Come on the podcast. Let's have a combo.
Do you guys remember, real quick? Do you guys remember when I told you that thing about Peyton Royce and Dave Meltzer?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
you did.
remember.
Yeah.
Not Baron Corbin.
Corey
Corey
Graves made a statement,
He made
reference.
a
I know,
reference
I
on
know.
Raw or SmackDown, whenever it was.
It's like,
Baron.
come on.
Interesting. Yeah.
I mean, this is. I mean, but
But
I mean,
Meltzer apologized.
but I
what
think-
else is he supposed to do?
Yeah.
I think Peyton Royce looks fantastic personally. I follow her. I've been following her on Instagram
She
since
does-
her
she does,
NXT days, actually, like her early NXT days, and like she's had just a great. She's just been working out constantly, and so she's got muscle. It's not fat that she's built; it's muscle. If you actually look on her on Instagram, that girl got some.
There's a
mean,
difference.
lean
If
Oh,
you
yeah.
just
muscle.
look at her on TV, how could you ever call that someone that she
It's
didn't
fat.
gain weight? Clearly, though,
Yeah.
you can gain muscle.
Yeah.
You're not getting fat.
I mean, she's in great shape. I mean, there's a difference because there are
Meltzer.
people. I know.
At the end of the day, Meltzer made a mistake. He apologized. I don't want to get too down the man's throat because the man did make a mistake and he owned up to it like a man.
I
a
was
lot of
more,
people,
I was
yeah.
more
a lot of people-
talking crap on Corey Graves in this thing. Because Graves just can't let it go. He's like one of these guys on Twitter that just can't let something go, and then some guy gets fired from his job or something because people he apologized, he did everything right, and then still because people.
Basically, the character that
know.
you see whenever he goes on,
a tag team match against Corey Graves. Now.
Corey Graves.
yeah,
It's a handicap match. It's a handicap.
like I think that Corey Graves, he's
Still got
trying
no
to
chance.
he's trying to play that character from camera wise onto Twitter, trying to sell that character, and I don't think he's never gonna change unless he gets a
never.
I don't know, maybe
Unless the
somebody
RKJ
debates
man gets to him.
unless the RKJ man debates with him.
I want to debate with Corey Graves, man. I really do. And I really want to get somebody on here from WWE or something to explain some of this booking because I think they done gone crazy trying to turn this girl Becky Lynch into a heel when clearly people are chanting her name and absolutely positively behind this girl. And we are turning Charlotte Flair into Charlotte Reigns.
I will give credit where credit is due. The RKJ man actually even predicted the crowd reaction in our
I said it.
predictions too.
I said it.
Yeah.
I
said
felt it.
exactly.
So
felt it,
you
yeah.
you absolutely
But it's
are
Brooklyn.
spot on with that.
It's Brooklyn.
Well, it was Brooklyn and then
Blackstradamus
Toronto.
never
Here's the thing,
fails.
no, it was Brooklyn and then Toronto, and next week is Columbus. We'll see how the Columbus crowd treats Becky Lynch.
doesn't matter.
Yes, it does.
Casuals,
the Brooklyn
marks,
pay-per-view
they
crowds.
love Becky Lynch. She's just a lovable personality.
True, but someone we'll just see how it is in in the Midwest or something like that. But Brooklyn and Toronto are both huge cities, lots of quote unquote marks
And
in
we'll
the
s-
crowd,
and we'll
and,
s-
so
yeah.
you have those biased reactions where they're going to cheer for a guy, boo a guy, no matter really what's going
And
on.
we'll see how she is, how the crowd reacts here in the West Coast. That's for sure.
Well, the West Coast isn't as good as the East Coast as far as the crowds. There's a lot more casual fans in the stands than you might think.
Yeah, that
Maybe
is true.
besides the pay-per-view, we've been to 2 shows and there's a lot of casual fans. There's a lot of
There's a
people
lot of-
cheering for Cena.
A lot of kids.
A lot of people cheering for Roman Reigns. So
A lot of Jeff Hardy fans.
a lot of Jeff Hardy
lot of
fans.
Jeff-
A lot of
Good Lord, man.
Jeff Hardy, they gotta stop pulling on his ear, man. Come on, man. Dude, he's gonna get his ear raked off in that Hell in a Cell coming up. But we'll talk about that in a second.
Yeah.
But real quick, back to SummerSlam, because kind of got off topic.
wanna talk about Becky Lynch.
I'll get you air first on this. What was your favorite part of SummerSlam? Favorite part and least favorite part of SummerSlam?
Favorite part, which caught me off guard, was that Finn Balor came as a demon.
That was very good.
Okay, I did not see that coming. To be honest, I did not see that
didn't
coming.
see it coming.
I actually thought that Finn Balor, we're just gonna have a Finn Balor match versus Baron Corbin because the way how it was built, I didn't feel it. Okay, great match on paper, but I just thought that it wasn't. I didn't thought it was gonna be booked well, but he surprised me. The thing that kind of the least thing, which I thought that could have been a lot better, was Braun Strowman versus Kevin Owens because that match.
Oh, my goodness
I wish that
gracious.
match would have been longer.
picks.
It wasn't just it was one-sided. That's the problem, and it was very short. I hate to say it.
Completely one-sided.
Definition.
Oh, yeah.
And now he's quit.
Oh
He's literally
I quit.
RKJ, man, favorite and least favorite part of SummerSlam?
Man, it's a tie between Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair and that moment right there, which,
This is your favorite?
yeah, and The Miz and Daniel Bryan, because I felt like the way they did that match at the end was perfect. How they incorporated Maurice and how
Oh,
they
yeah.
used everything. Even the way The Miz has been doing right now with Daniel Bryan and Maurice and this whole
lot of
thing.
momentum, that's
I
for
like
sure.
it. I really
Yeah.
enjoy it. Besides the match that they're having in Hell in a Cell, I think that's BS. But anyway, my least favorite moment is seeing the Bella Twins all around SummerSlam.
They're still around.
I'm sick and tired of the Bella Twins. Like, we don't want to see, allegedly, because this is where they might be going, Nikki Bella versus Ronda Rousey in a match. That's not credible to me. I don't want to see that
At a WrestleMania?
At Evolution.
Oh,
I want to
Evolution,
see
okay.
Nikki. I want to see the Bella Twins versus the Iconics.
Right.
That's what I want to see. That's the money match right there.
That could
and they've been
work,
teasing this match for months, and then the WWE does a complete swerve in the other direction and says, "Hey, let's get Nikki Bella versus Ronda Rousey," and that makes no sense. It doesn't look credible. It does not seem credible to me. You've got to have somebody credible enough as this main event approaches, as Evolution approaches. You've got to have somebody credible. Yeah. Whatever.
There's a D in the word.
Whatever.
D. You don't have to say critical.
Whatever.
Credical.
I don't care. I don't care.
dick in the
You
middle.
gotta have somebody legit to go up against Ronda Rousey, okay? And it's not Nikki Bella. It's not Nikki Bella. Shayna Baszler is the one that we predicted to lose in NXT. I predicted her
Which
to
she
lose
did.
NXT.
Which she did.
And
Which-
she
yeah,
needed to come
that's
up
true.
on the main roster the next night to start something with Ronda Rousey after she had won. If I was booking this thing, I would have had Stephanie McMahon hire Shayna Baszler as her hit woman to go after Ronda Rousey for all those times
could
that
work.
she's broken her
but
arm.
see, that could happen now because they did the thing on Raw after.
But no, man, it's too much teasing towards Nikki Bella and Ronda Rousey.
There is a lot of teasing.
and it sucks for me
And it's
because I
very
know
predictable.
that it's
That's the
all
problem.
about total Bellas, total divas, the Me Too movement, evolution, revolution, whatever you want to call it. Pants on fire, panties on
Well, you
fire.
know why I kind of
no
agree with you on
bras,
this, though?
Whatever, it's ridiculous.
You know why I kind of agree with you on this? Because the crowd continually boos them. And this might be a credit, again, of the Brooklyn-Toronto crowd. But Bella Twins are not getting a good reaction either. Brie, it's a little different, but she's going to be in something with her husband
By
in
the
Hell
way,
in a Cell.
I saw this. Since when did she get the right to go? Since when did they both get the right to show up on Raw and SmackDown? Has this been explained yet? How Brie Bella can just, hey, I'm on Raw.
actually a good
hey,
point.
I'm on SmackDown.
That's actually
hey,
a good
I'm on
point.
Raw.
Why
It's-
does Brie Bella have the same rules as John
And Cena
Cena?
and The Undertaker.
Yeah.
Part-timers?
Are these
Yeah,
girls,
it's-
really? These chicks are like The Undertaker and John Cena level?
I can't
Just Triple
believe-
H?
It's not Nikki. Nikki's not on SmackDown. It's just Brie.
Nikki was on
Brie
SmackDown before she got injured.
did a double show this past week.
Yeah, she was
Getting
on
off
Raw.
SummerSlam for a second.
Man, those
She did
interviews
too.
that they did, they were just really cringeworthy. I hate to say it.
It's awful.
Daniels was pretty cringeworthy on SmackDown last week. But again, we'll get to that in a second.
Yeah.
I can't take it anymore. Stop booking this man in these segments, man. Stop booking this boy in these segments, man. He gonna leave.
Okay, so my favorite part of the pay-per-view was the Samoa Joe AJ Styles match and aftermath.
See, I'm not feeling this
With
whole
his- with-
whole family.
well, I love
thing.
It's getting some steam.
I love it
will
because
admit
Samoa
to it.
Joe
I will
looks
admit.
like the worst heel in the company right now. Seriously, like he looks like the baddest dude because he's calling his wife on the phone and he's calling her out in the arena and he's
Something we haven't seen in a
talking
long
about
time.
his kids and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's blurring the lines of reality and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
And obviously Wendy, whatever her last name is, her
Yeah.
name isn't Styles, but she's in on it too, clearly. So
Yeah, me.
it's not like this is just Samoa Joe, hey, I'm gonna go out there and talk, and then throws her name out. It's a book storyline. It's good. It's gonna be built eventually for some. This story, I believe, this rivalry will go on for a little bit longer too.
Oh, yeah.
You know what
even
I would
past
do?
Hell in a Cell.
If I was Samoa Joe, well, actually a year and a half ago, AJ Styles and Charlotte and Becky Lynch were all cool, and especially AJ Styles and Charlotte Flair. And a lot of people started saying, "Whoa, what's going on here?" If I was Samoa Joe, and if I was booking this, since they want to get so personal,
Oh, I think I know what you're
I
going
would
with this.
say AJ Styles, you've
yeah.
been having an affair with Charlotte Flair,
Ah.
or with some of these chicks. Not even
It
Charlotte
should
Flair.
be
some of
somebody
these-
that's not in a storyline right now.
Well,
on
you
SmackDown.
just been having an affair, but we saw this in TNA though
Yeah.
a few years
With-
ago.
yeah.
We saw
Claire
that
Lynch,
the other
right?
night.
Yeah, Claire Lynch.
Yeah. Oh my God, what a terrible
With Christopher
storyline.
Daniels and Kazarian.
Oh my
terrible.
God, that had the potential to be really good. Bruce Pritchard talked about it on his podcast. He said that the what was it? Dixie Carter backed out. And the
Yeah.
husband backed out because people started talking about them at the thing.
Oh,
They're
yeah,
like,
yeah.
We can't keep doing the storyline anymore.
I don't even know what you guys are talking about there. But
Yeah, 'cause you don't watch
Someone
TNA.
sent me a video. I don't watch it. You know what? Okay, my mom was watching. It's completely off topic. My mom was watching something on Pop TV, and TNA came on after. It was the first time I'd seen TNA in like
Yeah, it looks
4 years.
really
I'm like,
different.
Mom,
Oh,
this
yeah,
is
it looks
TNA. Remember
different.
the show with like Hogan and all them? And she's like, yeah, it looks like this. It's like, who are these? She didn't know anybody.
Yeah.
So I told her Austin Aries
And they will
had
be
been
appearing at
WWE.
All In this weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, correct.
Most
Which
of
we will
them.
talk about near the end of the podcast.
At the end, yeah.
The main
My
event.
so favorite event or my favorite moment was that because you had the match was very good in my opinion. You had the ending was a little disappointing, but AJ Styles going over to his wife, his daughter, not knowing about kayfabe or whatever, said, "Daddy, you're bleeding" or something like that, which was heartbreaking to hear. And then you had Samoa Joe after just seething with anger, going back and understanding that AJ Styles had screwed him over, and Samoa Joe's plan hadn't worked out quite yet.
Yeah.
So I like that part of it. Least part of it,
This matchup needs to be in Hell in a Cell, by the way.
Like the match, not
we'll
the
see. We already do have 2 of them. I don't think they're going to do 4.
They
so
need to
there's
do
got
3.
One. There's got one more.
They
so
need
they got to make sure they get the right
You got to
one
have the
in there.
WWE Championship in Hell in a Cell. In this type of feud, this has got to be Hell in a Cell. baby.
My least favorite moment of SummerSlam, although they've clarified it now, was New Day and Bludgeon Brothers. I thought that match could have been really, really good, and the Bludgeon Brothers just ruined the match and just got themselves disqualified. But then we've seen now the New Day win the titles and become five-time tag teams. I almost said WCW World Tag Team Champions. So they've kind of redone that one, but that was my least favorite moment because I was excited about that match, and they kind of just ruined it in the middle for really no reason. So, other than that, thought it was a good pay-per-view. That was my only complaint. That was probably the worst match in the whole card. So.
All right, y'all. Let's get on to the Charlotte Flair Becky Lynch thing, because in my opinion, this is one of the most interesting things in the whole entire company, if not the most interesting things, because I'm getting a lot of people telling me, saying this out loud, saying Becky Lynch has become the female Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Who the hell said this?
I've had multiple
No, she
podcasters
hasn't.
say this. I've had people on the freaking internet. They have said this online on
To the fans
WrestlingForum.com,
out
which
there,
I go to.
To the fans out there, relax. Stop smoking crack, especially with Jeff Hardy.
Allegedly.
Lay that shit alone, okay? Lay it off. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, but I have to admit this. Becky Lynch is one of the hottest characters in the company right now, and she is not a heel in terms of reaction right now. And and a lot of people are saying, well, is she a heel? Is she a face? Is WWE changer? Have they done a 180? I'm going to say that she is a heel, but she's leaning towards a tweener. And it's going to get more tweener, because I don't see why she would align herself with like the Carmellas and Iconics and what else? Mandy Rose and them. You know, I don't see why she would align herself with them, but I don't see why she would align herself with any of the faces too. I would see Becky Lynch just being solo. I'm Becky Lynch. I'm a last kicker. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to break arms and take names. And by the way,
Be a badass.
I totally disagree with this match being at the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view.
I do too.
Why not build it?
I do too. I was
for
going to say
Evolution.
that. And
Yeah.
they could, because they are. You don't really want every single pay-per-view to be booked like a SummerSlam, or you have to have some. You know, you have to have some longer builds. You can't just build all of these rivalries for 3 or 4 weeks.
know, it feels really
and
rushed.
They
That's
have
the
a lot
problem.
of stuff coming up, because they have the Super Show 3 weeks later.
Yeah.
And then you have Evolution like 3 or 4 weeks after that. So you could wait all the way till Evolution. WWE tends to not do that anymore because the brand split's kind of over. And so, but I agree with you. I was really hoping. I'm like, dude, they could really
They could do a lot of good
make
stuff with
this a
this stuff.
hateful rivalry
Now,
without
here's-
mentioning someone's wife.
So I already told my mom this. Here's what's getting ready to happen. Here's the issue that I'm having. If we want Charlotte versus Ronda next year at WrestleMania, which I can already say is booked. Here's what's the
You
problem.
cannot say that. You have no insider
Hold on.
information.
Just
you
listen.
look at
We don't
just
know that for
listen.
sure, man.
Just listen to me real quick. Just listen to and just pay attention to the booking.
Okay.
Okay. Pay
Okay.
attention to the booking.
Okay.
If you continue with the booking direction of Charlotte and Ronda Rousey in the next 5 months, 6 months before we get to WrestleMania season, which I think is the start of January, in my opinion, they are going to be booed out of the building next year in New York. You have
Charlotte
got
and
to,
Rousey?
yeah.
I doubt that's
You've
not
got to
true.
find a
Rousey's
way.
too hot.
You've got to find a way. You've got to find a way to make these characters more appealing and do something different with them in the next 5 to 6 months, or in the next year, if you want to get closer to that, to make sure that once this main event happens at WrestleMania, once this match happens at WrestleMania, it means something, people are invested in it, and people aren't just booing these characters out of the building, or a situation where the crowd's not giving a reaction because they don't care. In my opinion, you've overexposed Charlotte in a way, because now people see her as a person who's only getting these opportunities because of her last name. And so now you're giving her an opportunity to get booed and hated. And now you're putting it up against a white hot heel who in all actuality is a babyface according to crowd reactions against Becky Lynch. And on the other side of the spectrum, you have Ronda Rousey on Raw, who's feuding with Nikki Bella, and it's gonna because people
Not
hate
yet.
Nikki Bella.
Not yet.
Okay, it's getting ready to happen. When she feuds with Nikki Bella, it's gonna bring Ronda Rousey's stock down. So this is a big problem. What would you guys do right now if you're Vince McMahon? What would you do right now to change the direction of Charlotte and Ronda Rousey if you already got it booked in your mind that this is my main event for WrestleMania 35 next year to solidify the fact that we are in a women's evolution movement?
Well, I don't see the necessity to have this match. You want this match really bad. If people aren't over, then you change the booking. I don't believe in booking a WrestleMania main event a year early like they tend to do. So I just say you play by ear. Ronda's going to be in the main event, possibly the main event of the entire WrestleMania. So just have the top heel.
Yeah,
I'm gonna facing her.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Why can't it be Becky Lynch?
I'm gonna have to agree.
Why can't Becky Lynch?
If they
right?
continue along
Okay.
with this, if this booking of Becky Lynch, she will be the top heel
I'm
facing
that's
Ronda
what I'm
Rousey.
saying.
I'm gonna have to agree with you. You know,
Who are you agreeing with?
Rousey, no, with you, Nick.
Okay.
The fact that that Ronda
Go
is
ahead
probably
and
gonna
agree
be in the
with
main event.
Hypocritical Nick.
Look, there are some things that you say, Ryan, is that you're right, and also Nick, some things that he's right
Well,
about.
more
but
with me, though.
but here's the
That's
thing.
BS.
But here's
Stop
the thing.
listening to what my brother says. Okay.
But here's the thing.
I don't talk to your brother.
Here's the thing. For Ronda, I'm pretty sure she's going to be in the main event at WrestleMania. But I hate to say it, man. It's just like every other workplace, like every other wrestler, you know, in the company, they're going to call out. Things happen throughout the past few months, in the next few months, and also next year. Things happen, and who knows what's going to happen for the next wrestler, the next, you know, women. Who's going to be the women's champion by that time? Who do you think might be the women's champion at that time? You might get it wrong. What would happen if the match were to happen and that were to be the main event, and then you've been looking forward to this match? What would happen if that match was half-assed? Like it was really bad.
You're saying at WrestleMania?
Yeah, WrestleMania.
Well, that's
Well,
a
we've
different.
seen it several
that's a
times at
different
WrestleMania.
thing, though.
But you've been
because-
anticipating it for a year. You've been anticipating for this for a whole year, and then you've been waiting for this to happen. And then when the match happens, they just give you completely half-assed match, and it's just horrible. What would happen?
It's kind of impossible for Ronda Rousey to half-ass a match. I think she's too into it. And doesn't wrestle enough to where she would, mail in a match like at WrestleMania.
Kind of confused, Eric.
I am kind of confused too. I think what you're trying to say is
What if the match sucked?
Yeah,
and we
what
were
if the
looking
match
forward
sucked?
for
What if
a
the match
year?
sucked? Yeah.
We've experienced this multiple times in wrestling.
Yeah.
Like we've experienced this so many times, like that we
Decent
actually
Triple
are
H.
surprised if we see a good
Yeah.
match instead of a crappy
also-
match.
okay. Can you guys give me a good match? I think the last one that was, to be honest, was probably Daniel Bryan versus Orton and Batista. Right?
Oh, a good WrestleMania
That-
match.
yeah, good WrestleMania main event.
That's a great question.
Because Rollins cashing in doesn't count really as the main event.
does not?
That was awesome.
Count. Yeah,
But it's been Roman Reigns. That one
I
last
think
year,
the
Roman Reigns
triple
Triple H
threat
definitely wasn't.
women's championship match.
No, it has
or-
to be. I'm talking about the last match on the
Oh,
card.
the
main
last
event,
match
the
of
main
the
event.
card.
That's the real main event.
Yeah, it's man.
The last 2 years, no, for sure.
The
definitely
last
not.
2 years, no. We can go like way back, but last 2
What
years,
was
not really.
33s?
33 was Roman Reigns as the Undertaker, and we know that was not the best
So
match.
it's been three. It has been.
No, WrestleMania
It's-
34.
It's been since Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
It's
Oh, yeah,
been
never mind,
since
never mind.
Roman
Yeah.
Reigns has been taken over, pretty much.
Yeah.
Roman Reigns in the main
Exactly.
event
Yeah.
sucks ass.
Yeah.
Which is why people don't support him as the main person of the
Although
company.
that match wasn't. The first match they had wasn't bad because people hadn't seen it yet. It wasn't great though. I think the last great one where the real champion won and all that stuff was Daniel Bryan. He already been in the match earlier. They had built a storyline.
I think maybe it's because they had steam. They
WrestleMania.
had like a lot of momentum for Daniel Bryan because he was screwed over by the authority various times. And
the whole
there's
year.
Yeah, it's been hinted that Daniel Bryan's going to win the match because you had two established guys going up against Daniel Bryan, a guy who is in there is a B+ player, wasn't it like a B+ player that Triple H called him?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then Daniel Bryan, he had to prove something to the kid Connor, and then he had to prove to himself that he had to, win the match and be the main event at WrestleMania. So yeah, I could see,
crazy time.
I could see why that match was actually pretty good because Daniel Bryan, he was scheduled to be win the match.
You know what I wonder, real quick? Sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah, no
I
worries.
wonder if Daniel Bryan wouldn't have got hurt, we would have had all these Roman Reigns matches.
Yes, we would have.
You still think
I
so?
think
Because Roman Reigns.
I know
because
I know
remember-
Daniel Bryan was in a ladder match at that one WrestleMania 31, but again, that was the best match they had.
But to be honest with you, we had seen it beforehand. And that's the reason why this Roman Reigns hate started, because Roman Reigns won that Royal Rumble that year, and it was telegraphed. And Daniel Bryan was supposed, people were hoping Daniel Bryan would at least make it to the end, and he got knocked out
Yeah.
early
By Bray
And then-
Wyatt. Yeah.
And then at the fall pay per view, Roadblock or something. Or Fastlane,
Fastlane.
he lost to Roman Reigns. Although that was a great match, he lost to Roman Reigns for the #1 contendership for the championship at WrestleMania. So yeah, I do believe it would have happened. My bigger question is this: what would have happened that year had CM Punk decided to stay with the company? If CM
Very
Punk would have stayed
interesting.
with the company, where would CM Punk be? Where would
well,
Daniel Bryan?
that was so long ago
be?
too. I can't remember even what CM Punk was doing.
He
What was the last
he
thing
was
Punk
feuding
did?
with the Authority. He was supposed to face
he
Triple
was-
H that year.
He was feuding with the
And because
Authority.
he left, Daniel Bryan got the opportunity ahead of him,
He-
which should have happened.
It looked
initially.
like he was scheduled to face Kane first and then wrestle Triple H at WrestleMania. That
would make sense.
That was the
That
idea.
would be the natural progression. Yeah, that would be. Punk really. That is it's a good one. You brought CM Punk out of the dirt right there. I did not. I totally have forgotten.
Well, it's
that
all
guy.
in, and it's in Chicago, and the rumors have it CM Punk may show up. So you know what I'm saying.
Oh, it's gonna be very interesting. Yeah, very good. Very
We
good plug
could.
for later in the show.
Oh yeah.
Tease.
Yeah, so my only thing is, I get you. They like to plan it a year in advance, but if things change,
Yeah.
you gotta change it. And I think they should get the hint now. And at least they somewhat changed it. SummerSlam, Braun Strowman coming out, they made that match somewhat interesting. You really didn't know what was going to happen, and the ending was unpredictable in some ways, only because Brock Lesnar got pinned clean and Braun Strowman didn't actually cash in. So it was like, okay. I didn't think that was going to happen, and now we have a storyline developing, a nice storyline
I
developing
actually thought that
between
Brock.
Strowman and
I actually
Reigns.
thought that Brock was going to come back on Raw, being all pissed off. But from what I know, is that Brock he's actually training for that fight with DC. Those are the sources that I gathered from Brock.
Yeah, who are those sources, real quick, Eric, that you're getting?
Yeah.
this from?
Where are those sources? are you getting from?
Wrestle Inc. E-Wrestling.
that's-
Oh, okay. I
E-wrestling.
thought you had like
So-
personal sources. I was
No,
like,
no, no.
Sheets again.
I was like, Eric's been holding out on us.
No, usually
What-
E-Wrestling.
How these sources could book people for us.
Usually
Can you please
E-Wrestling.
tell them to listen to the podcast?
Usually E-Wrestling gives me like a better, understanding of what's happening.
E-wrestling.
Yeah.
That's not. It's like
that
an
sounds
E-network
like
branch.
each channel.
Yeah. They got no seriously. But so I don't know. I don't know why you can't do it Becky Lynch, and you have two people that can break people's arms.
Yeah.
Right? Why can't you do it there? Right?
I would love to see that matchup, but
By the
Becky
way,
Lynch
real
has to
quick-
win the Royal Rumble. By the way, you have to win the Royal Rumble in order to get to Ronda
Or Ronda
Rousey.
Rousey wins the Royal Rumble.
Unfortunately, because apparently we're separating brands according to Nick, so we can't do Charlotte and Ronda Rousey now, or we
Have
can't
you
do Asuka
since they announced the brands were, the
Being on-
brand pay-per-views were connected, combined. Can't get my words out. Have you seen a SmackDown versus Raw match besides the Money in the Bank ladder match? Which was that match anyways?
Not yet.
So then why would I start predicting?
Because
you
it's
predicted
the,
four
hold
different
on, because
storylines
this
and
is
matches.
because this is evolution. This is all women. They're all under the same
talking about
umbrella.
WrestleMania.
We're women, so why not have why not have women from both shows competing against one another? It makes sense. You already have Alexa Bliss versus Trish Stratus.
We have Nikki Bella versus Ronda Rousey.
Nobody knows who what brand Nikki Bella's on. Nobody has any clue what brand. Nikki Bella's on the Nikki Bella
on the-
brand.
yeah,
She's
exactly.
on that I'm trying to be a Kardashian brand.
Yeah, she's out, I gotta fix my credibility because I'm out with John Cena brand.
Hey,
Ooh,
how's
you
that?
said that, not me?
How's that going? How's that going? John Cena, Nikki Bella.
Who cares?
Anything?
I don't
No?
care anymore. And that's probably the reason why they're getting booed, because Nikki Bella and them were flaunting their relationship all over on Total
Brie Bella
Bella.
still is.
Well,
She's wrestling at the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view with Daniel Bryan.
that is true.
Who the hell would have predicted
What the
that?
hell?
I personally just want to see Daniel Bryan and The Miz in Hell in a Cell.
Yeah.
I don't know why we had to get the wives involved. It's kind of frustrating that just because we're going to
You're
an
right.
all-women's Evolution pay-per-view that we got to get the women involved. And, personally for me, and I know this is going to make some people upset, but I don't
can't
really
wait.
care. Come at me, bro. Like,
Piss them off.
if we're gonna have this WWE Evolution pay-per-view,
Oh,
I wouldn't have any of the women on this pay-per-view. To be honest, you want it to be like, hey, the next time you want to see the woman on a major event,
Brie Bella
you got to
and
see it on
Maurice
Evolution.
Brie Bella and Maurice are more they're just wives of wrestlers.
Look, if
Maurice
they
is
want,
not a
if they
wrestler.
want to,
And I'm not saying that they shouldn't be on other pay-per-views, and I'm not saying that they shouldn't be wrestling in general. I'm just saying they shouldn't be on the pay-per-view before you have the biggest pay-per-view, perhaps besides WrestleMania of the year, because it's nothing but women at this show at Evolution. You want all the women to make sure that they get as much time as possible practicing, getting everything ready to go, because should that match not be good, people are going to be like, okay, well, you had these great matches at the Hell in a Cell. Maybe you should have focused more on the Evolution pay-per-view than the Hell in a Cell. I'm just saying. Me personally, I would have not had any women on this because it would have been like, okay, you want to see the women next time on pay-per-view? Guess what? You're going to have to see it at Evolution.
To be fair, they have 6 weeks of prep for Evolution.
And you would
So
have
I would
more
rather
time.
not see. This would have been the perfect time to do the Saudi Arabia pay-per-view, right? Because the women literally can't wrestle on that pay-per-view.
Yeah, but they're doing it 5 days after Evolution. I just read it. They're going to
no
Saudi
way.
Arabia again 5 days
What?
after Evolution.
What are we
5
doing?
days after Evolution, they're going to Saudi Arabia.
Is that like the next pay-per-view
Wait,
for
Yeah.
the men
wait,
then?
what
And
about
on top of that,
the Australia?
Oh, that
Super-
actually makes sense.
Yeah.
So the men do get their pay-per-view after all.
yeah.
and
What a
what,
slap in the face for women.
and what pisses me off even more is the fact that they have these women competing in Australia at that Super Showdown
Super
thing.
Showdown, yeah.
Which, if I was them, I would have them appear and build up the storyline for Evolution, but I wouldn't have them wrestle. You still give them a good payday. You still take care of them, but you don't have them wrestle to Evolution. If Evolution, in my opinion, could be like the women's version of WrestleMania, then you got to make it a big time deal. This is huge. You cannot destroy your brand and tarnish anything going right before Evolution. Ronda Rousey, Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch, they all got to be there. You got to have something going.
Well, I think they will.
Because
And
Brian's about to take his annual WWE break because football season's starting.
Well,
Oh,
no, exactly. I'm just
being
gonna-
honest.
I'm gonna check something real quick here. What was I gonna do? Oh wait, no, I just had it. Never mind. Hold on.
When
that,
is it?
That
Yeah.
Becky Lynch Charlotte match has not been announced for this
Well,
pay-per-view
Becky
yet.
Lynch said it. She'll see her at Hell
You're
in a
right.
Cell.
Yeah.
You're right. She
So-
did say that.
Yeah.
And she said the B
God
word.
damn it, Becky! Come on.
already a tease
Hey,
right there,
don't
man.
say the GD word, sir.
By the way,
So
where
you can say fuck, but I can't say.
Oh, technically,
not- no.
Technically, it's not a cuss word.
Put that one. What time is that?
37 minutes.
37 minutes?
Yeah.
That was a fair F word, though. I was saying the word.
What
I
about
wasn't
me and my
saying-
F word?
No, yours was a bad F word.
I was called New Jack.
Well, that's.
I mean, every
We should just
thoroughbred
make a
that-
rule. There's 2 people we can't quote on the show: New Jack and Chris Benoit.
That is
okay?
true.
Those are the 2
That's
people
true. That's
we're
true.
not going to quote.
We can't quote them,
Yeah,
man.
we can't quote New
Let's
Jack.
talk about Chris Benoit. Just kidding.
Or Jim Cornette for most of the time because that guy's just a sailor mouth too.
Is New Jack
yeah.
gonna be at All In? I
No,
don't think
I don't
they.
think
I don't
so.
think. I
I
don't
will
think he-
watch. I will watch all in if New Jack's gonna be there.
I don't think New
Bust
Jack
his
should
brain
be
on
all
the
in.
floor or something like that.
I think he's gonna do something crazy.
If you
Yeah.
want to see,
Speaking of which,
if you
what was
wanna see
going
a
on with
death-
Jason Sensation?
is this about all in?
No, but yeah.
Okay,
kinda
we'll
sort
talk
of.
about that later.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that later.
Well, old boy brought a gun into Raw and said he was gonna kill himself.
Oh, shh.
Yeah.
Who is this?
Look it up. Jason Sensation brought a gun into Raw and said,
What?
"I
Hell
just
is
come to
Jason
take over."
Sensation?
Did he get
Sounds
kicked
like a
out?
porn star.
He apologized afterwards, but he tweeted it out.
Oh, you
It's
think?
like I'm gonna.
Was it like
I'm
a joke or what was it? What,
I
did
don't
he actually
know.
mean
Threatens
it?
to kill himself at Monday Night Raw.
Oh my god.
This guy just looks messed up, anyways.
This dude's crazy.
He's got an IMDb.
Is
I don't know who
is
this
he
guy
from
is.
ECW? Because that's
I
where all
have
the
it.
crazy people are from. ECW.
Let me see.
It's basically every night they were getting chair crocked across their heads.
Hashtag Todd is God.
Yeah.
Let me see.
How is Tommy Dreamer still like functional? That's what I want to know.
I don't know, man.
I don't know, man.
That guy took a. It's not like that guy didn't
How
take a
was
lot of
Sabu?
bombs. Sabu's not really functional. You seen that guy tweet occasionally? Where that guy tweets some dumb stuff.
Man, I'm
Him
not
and-
God.
like
I'm
him
not
and-
God, but it's pretty safe to say, man, New Jack, who is it, Sabu and them?
Oh, dude.
Y'all going to hell.
I know.
Okay.
I know who
Y'all
Jason.
going to hell.
Yeah.
Sandman, and Nasty Boys.
Yeah. Yeah, y'all better get right with God.
How about, here's a real
How about
question.
Scott Hall?
Here's a real question.
Scott Hall, too. Y'all better get right with God.
Nasty's going to hell.
Y'all better get
Hulk
right.
Hogan probably
The
going to hell.
the NWO.
Y'all better get right with God.
Every part of the NWO is going to hell.
Chris Benoit.
Shawn
Let me
Shawn Michaels
apologize.
probably going to hell. Shawn
No,
Michaels.
Shawn Michaels is a Christian.
Oh, dude, what he used to do.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He used to ruin people's lives.
Oh, yeah.
It's a
Guess-
mix. He's gonna be in purgatory and like be in the middle
He's
of it. They're
not-
gonna be like, oh, ugh.
He's not
You
gonna
did
be
all
in
that stuff
purgatory.
later in your life. But you gotta watch out.
Man, this is blasphemy right here. This is blasphemy, Nick. You
Who
need
is
to get
Jason
down and
Sensation?
apologize.
He used to be.
Who's Jason
dude,
Sensation?
Okay, I know who now you're talking about. DX used to do like a parody of the Nation of Domination, and they brought in Owen Hart to impersonate him, and they brought in Jason.
So they brought in white guys to impersonate.
it was a fan.
black
It was a
guys.
fan. Jason was a fan to impersonate as Owen Hart. That was the whole thing.
okay.
That was the whole deal.
To impersonate
Yeah.
Owen Hart.
Yeah, and The Rock, Triple H impersonated as The Rock just to mock the Nation and also
I
The
remember
Rock.
that.
Yeah,
I remember that.
and they brought in a fan. That was him.
Interesting. So this guy doesn't mean anything then.
Yeah, he was just a fan at the time.
Yeah. That was very interesting. I didn't know who Jason. Now I know who Jason Sensation is.
Yeah.
I would have thought before that porn star, about 55 videos online.
Ooh.
That's what I would have guessed.
Really?
Yeah. Jason Sensation sounds like.
Pretty sure there's like
okay.
yeah, I'm pretty sure there's a name like that out there in the porn industry.
I'm gonna look it up right after the podcast.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's your birthday.
We research people.
It's your birthday.
Yeah.
True. Yeah.
I had a really messed up joke, Nick, and you're lucky.
Can you just say it? Can you please say
I
it?
had
go
it
for
really
it, man.
messed up.
Just
man.
go for
No, and it's the reason why you didn't come to the podcast. That's the reason. That's the joke I have.
Well, that's not a joke. That's real life.
Yeah, that's okay. We'll do it outside the
Okay.
podcast.
Okay.
So I think it's time. Switch it up a little bit. I want to talk about a lot of stuff, but I want to break this into 3 different segments.
Yeah, like we
single-
always do.
Of course.
I mean,
Okay.
RKJ, man.
Take
This
the
has nothing to
mic.
do with wrestling, so I want you to get this out of the way.
this is non-wrestling, bro.
It's not
I-
wrestling.
I
But
don't
so
care.
there's no.
I
we're
wanna
not gonna-
hear this.
We're not going to tie this into anything
I don't know how
after.
good this is gonna be, but we're gonna see how
So
it works
this
today.
is a
Let's
special edition of Ryan Rants.
Man, these Dallas Cowboy fans done lost their mind, man.
no.
And Nick, your co-host Jared said some
shit.
blasphemous nonsense on Wednesday, saying that if I came in with my own opinion, I would have to pack up my bags. Mr. Jarrett, do you know who I am? I'm the RKJ man. I'm a crazy mother canucker, man. I'm crazy. And saying blasphemous nonsense is kind of what I do. Let's look at your team, the Dallas Cowboys. When's the last time you won a Super Bowl? 1996, okay? Let's forget about the fact that you were probably in diapers when this happened, okay? Let's also think about what was popular in 1996. Things were popping in 1996, so bad that The Nutty Professor is one of the top-rated movies in all of that year. And then you have Independence Day, Mission Impossible. Man, Tom Cruise is in the Illuminati. And then also you have also all these other things. Let me see what else is going on. Denzel Washington was the sexiest man in the live. Daily Show first aired with Craig. What's his name? Kilborn. What else? You had all these other people. Rosie O'Donnell had the Rosie O'Donnell show. When's the last time you heard about Rosie O'Donnell doing anything relevant in 2018? And yet you have the audacity to come at me and say that the Dallas Cowboys are going to beat my Carolina Panthers. Cam Newton, one of the best quarterbacks in the league, who's quickly becoming one of the best quarterbacks in league history, no matter how many kids the man has to have. He's going for a basketball team, but guess what? The man is going to win him some Super Bowls in the next couple of years. And you have your Dallas Cowboys, who just lost your top wide receiver, who really wasn't that good anyway, in Dez Bryant. And then you have Ezekiel Elliott. Mr. Ezekiel Elliott, the man who likes to wear a crop top. Okay, the man who likes to allegedly go around and do domestic violence. You have that dude who's gonna probably be stopped in the box because we're gonna put 11 men because your quarterback can't throw, and Dak Prescott because your quarterback can't throw. And our defense is getting really, really good. And we have an actual secondary for the first time in God knows whenever. Jared, sit down, man. Don't try to box your hands with God. I'm not God, but I'm the RKJ man. And guess what? I'm always shooting my shot for greatness. See you this Wednesday, Jared.
Damn.
Boom.
And I will
That
be
was
there.
Good.
I am
That
going
was
to watch
good.
all this.
I obviously will be there. I will be the mediator, the referee, the Mike Chioda of this
gonna
competition
make sure
between
you guys
the
don't make-
RKJ man and Mr. Jared
I'm gonna make
Smith.
sure you guys don't break the freaking glass in the
If you
walls.
don't know who Jared Smith is, he's my co-host on the Cover 2 podcast. We do a sports podcast every single week. He's a big Dallas Cowboys fan. The Cowboys, of course, face the Carolina Panthers
Week 1.
week 1 of the season. So the RKJ man
125.
will be on that podcast. So listen in. We'll have a little crossover Cover 2 Ring Generals podcast there.
This man done lost his damn mind
Yeah,
thinking
the
he can talk
RKJ
that.
man will be there.
Thinking he can talk that shit against me. He done lost his damn mind.
Although
if
there's
he
two
comes
things-
in with it,
there's
I'm gonna
two
make the
things you
10 man.
said, though.
I'm
There's
gonna
two
make the
things you
10
said
man
in that.
have an emotion because Jared don't have no emotion on that podcast except when he's talking about the Cowboys. I'm gonna get some emotion out of him today or on Wednesday.
It's
Trust
gonna
me.
be interesting.
I'm gonna get some emotion out of that boy.
I can't wait. I
He's
can't wait.
mine on
He's
Wednesday.
getting heated, man.
There's two
Damn.
things you
mine
said.
on
There's two
Wednesday.
things you
Relax.
said on that thing though that were just absolutely incorrect. That Cam Newton's one of the best quarterbacks in the league. He's like in the middle. He's not one of the best. And that your Carolina
3
Panthers
years
defense
ago,
is gonna
he
be
won
really
the
good.
MVP, man.
The Cardinals defense is better than the Panthers defense. They're
That's
not.
BS, and you're only saying that because you're a Cardinals fan.
Your corners. Name your corners.
Bradbury.
Bradbury.
Yeah, James
Patrick
Bradbury.
Peterson.
Doesn't matter. Did you guys get to
Pat
the playoffs
Peterson,
last
Budda
year?
Baker.
Did you guys get to the playoffs last year?
That doesn't matter.
See,
It's this year.
your
We're talking
conversation.
about this year.
See, talking to you
We're
about
talking about
football
this
is
year. We're not talking
completely
about last
irrelevant.
year.
I don't know why we talking about football. Me and you don't need to talk about football.
Okay, okay.
Me and Jarrett need to talk about football.
Have you guys
Because
placed your
Jarrett likes
bet?
to talk that nonsense.
Have you guys put your bet yet?
What's up?
I was asking the RKJ man if he put his bet yet.
Probably do it on the podcast.
I don't even know what the bet's gonna be. We gotta think about it. But I mean, Jared done lost his mind saying I can't come in there with my own opinion. Man, I'll come in there with whatever opinion I want to do. Crazy. What's the second thing I was wrong about?
It's gonna be a good
Nick?
promo.
It was the defense. Your defense is not.
So what was the first thing?
Defense,
Oh,
it's
okay,
kinda-
so that's-
Your
okay.
defense is not going to be really good soon. It's actually regressing. You're losing players left and right.
Okay, this is a National Football League.
You've
Everybody
lost
lose
Norman.
players.
You've lost Davis 4 games. He's going to retire soon, and Kuechly's
Who
about
cares?
to die on the field from concussions.
He's not going to die on the field.
He's
He's not going to die.
seizures on the field.
He's not going to die on the field before he wins the Super Bowl. But I tell you one
When was
thing.
the last time you saw a linebacker cry on the field after getting hit?
I just want to let you
Wow.
know something.
Luke Kuechly.
Because he gives 110% on the field. I just want to
By
let
the
you
way,
know
I'm not a
something.
Cowboys fan either.
I just
Their
don't-
offensive line is falling apart. They got half of them got diseases. Okay.
Yeah.
And then they have no receiving core. Literally not one
Why?
good tight end.
I want to know.
And their defense is terrible. So
Let me explain
Cardinals
something.
gonna have a better record than
After
Baltimore.
this Ryan rants, I want to know how many Cowboy fans we lost.
I hate Cowboy
That's a good
fans.
point. That's a good point.
But let me just be honest with you about this,
Forgot
man.
about that.
When it comes down to it, the Dallas Cowboys are a lot like the Notre Dame, a lot like Notre Dame in college football. A lot of people like them, but they're incredibly overrated, and they never do anything, and they get way too much media publicity.
They were in the national championship a couple years ago, though.
Yeah, but did they win it?
No, they got killed.
Yeah.
Very happy about that too.
Same.
I'm somewhat of a USC
I
fan.
hate the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. I don't know why, but it's maybe it's because I think Republicans like them. But I just don't like the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. I just don't.
So you literally don't like a football team because you assume a political party
Yeah.
likes them,
Pretty much.
and we wonder why America's divided.
We're talking that hypocrite, not hypocrite.
That wasn't hypocritical.
That nonsense. We're
I
talking
don't
that
like
blasphemous
I don't
nonsense.
like Notre Dame because I'm somewhat of a USC fan because you kind of have to be if you live in Southern California, and Notre Dame is their top rival. They've also beaten UCLA
talking
many
about?
times in the past.
You're UCLA fan. Since when have you been a USC fan?
I said, I just
Oh, okay.
explained.
All right, cool.
All you had to do was explain. Man,
Sometimes I don't listen to you.
he doesn't listen.
I'm being honest
And
with
then,
you.
and then he's wrong later, and then he has to explain himself because he didn't listen to me in the first place. Like the
Sometimes I don't
Roman
listen to
thing.
you.
You got that on the phone, right? When you recorded him, you got everything.
I got some of it. Yeah,
Okay.
I think most of them I'm just gonna send to Jared.
I'm being
Oh, wow,
honest with you.
okay.
I'm absolutely going to destroy Jared. I want Jared because
You don't know enough. You don't know as much about football. Than he
You
does.
underestimate me and what I could do in an actual debate. I have the day off before your podcast.
You just get mad and wild. So you
what I'm
don't
gonna
actually debate well. You just get. You're like the Miz.
No, I'm not the Miz.
Yeah, the technical ability, the stats you're gonna bring up are not gonna be.
I don't
as
have
good.
the hot wife yet. I'm working on it.
Neither does Jared. So
I'm gonna get another marble cake.
Can I go get one right now? I won't talk about some BS while we- let's see. I had something for my random segment. I can't remember anymore. So, is there any off-topic wrestling stuff that we want to? Because I'm gonna switch it up. I'm actually gonna just do something about wrestling since he talked about football on his. Normally he does about wrestling or MMA. So, what do you guys? Is there any off-brand stuff that we probably won't talk about in the podcast that we want to talk about in the place of my segment right now?
How's Catalina? How was your trip?
Catalina
Oh
was
yeah,
good.
how was Catalina?
Yeah.
Catalina was good. Yeah, Catalina is very interesting.
a
Catalina
lot of
Island.
animals,
Talking
huh?
about Catalina Island.
Why were
there
you
are
late to the podcast today?
I was watching SmackDown.
Sure you were.
I was watching SmackDown. And I forgot,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you were SmackDown.
I forgot.
I'm pretty sure there was some SmackDown involved.
I forgot.
SmackDown with Catalina.
Can I explain?
No, you can't. Because I know the real story. And if you don't be honest, I'm going to bring it out.
I forgot a very important item. No, I didn't
What
forget.
could
I
that
didn't-
item
what
be?
could that be, Nick?
I didn't forget it.
What could that item be?
I
He
just
makes
couldn't
me,
find it.
Nick, he makes me.
Was it your keys?
Eric, he makes me to say all my embarrassing things, but he don't want to say his
Was
stuff.
it your keys, Nick?
Was it your keys?
It was not my keys.
Really?
Really? Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't my keys.
Was it something essential for tonight?
Your
you may
wallet?
need?
Your wallet?
Somewhat essential. Yes. Not absolutely essential, but somewhat essential.
I think it's absolutely essential, and I think it's absolutely essential that you blurt it out on the podcast right now. Come on, I know
For
what
the
it
sake
is.
of my girlfriend, I'm gonna say
Oh, this is bullshit.
no comments.
Bullshit.
I think every fella
Uncle
knows.
David just threw his pen across the thing.
I think every male audience should know.
No. If you're in my same situation, you might know what it is. So, it's my birthday dinner. I'm going to birthday dinner.
All right, explain to me why we're not doing anything for your birthday tonight, Nick. Besides going to your birthday dinner.
Well,
because I think it's not
Oh,
fair.
okay. I'll explain this.
I think we should be going.
This is not just for my birthday. My dad and my brother have birthdays very close to mine, and we're doing a combined.
Okay. Well, you never mentioned that.
And they don't exactly. That's why I'm saying it right now.
Okay.
I forgot. I was like, oh, I didn't
He
mention
wanted
that.
to save this on the
Oh,
segment
he wanted
that he
to,
has.
he,
is my
he knew
segment.
this was
Yeah, this is
happening.
his segment.
He just wanted to come out as the hero. He just wanted to come out. He wants to be the face in
Fake
this
news,
conversation.
Nick.
But here's the thing: I've been a heel all my life, so
the
I don't
face- I'm
care.
the face in this guy. By the way, RKJ man, can you guys agree he's the heel going into this thing with Jared?
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
if
How
you're
am I the heel?
Jared
if
has
you're a
been
Cowboys
nice.
fan.
Jared has been nice and actually
And polite.
somewhat-
He's been
Jared
polite.
said he was going to destroy
He said
me.
the Panthers could win the NFC South.
Oh, good for
I said
him.
the Panthers probably weren't going to make the
I
playoffs.
didn't. I kind of forgot that your start time was a little earlier, so I missed that early part.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Because I was looking at 10.
You're right. NFC South was, I believe, the second thing we talked about. So you're right. Nonetheless, I'm doing a what do you call it? We went to Catalina. I'll answer your question. My girlfriend and I went to Catalina. It was great. Catalina is very interesting though because I have some stuff I want to complain about.
Oh boy.
The
I love how he wants to complain.
transportation.
He
The
wants to complain
transportation
about
over it.
vacations.
The transportation in Catalina, and you guys will understand this too.
I won't
If you
understand
take a shuttle around the city, it's $2. If you take a taxi, it's $15.
Where's
The
Uber?
shuttles end. There's no Ubers on Catalina.
That sucks.
Yeah, it's only taxis. There really is. There's minimal cars. You don't really allow cars
an
unless
island,
you,
dude.
especially you live there for a certain amount of time. So you're supposed to drive golf carts and stuff like that. But
That's fun.
the shuttles stop at 6 o'clock. So if you do anything at night, you're spending $30 going back and forth to your place for a
that
mile.
sucks.
Everything's a
Wow.
mile. It's terrible, right? They didn't change that. Now I know their demographic is older and retired, so people with money and stuff like that. But if you want to go over with your girlfriend, it did make us not decide to do certain things because we didn't want to just spend $30 to drive somewhere we could walk. It took a little longer to walk, but I'm not out here balling with money, so I can't just be spending $30 a time.
You're just recommending them
I love
something
how
to
Nick's
improve on.
complaining about vacations, like me and Eric go on vacations on a frequent thing. Nick's been on like multiple
go on
vacations.
vacation.
I can't go on vacation yet, you dummy. You know why I can't go on vacation?
It's correct.
Oh
That's
my
correct.
god.
Probably the only deserving vacation I got was 2 years ago.
Eric, you could go on vacation.
It was back in Napa. That was like the only vacation that I really,
I remember
really,
when we
really
went to
had.
Napa.
Oh, we went to
Yeah.
Napa.
That's a nice place.
That's
Napa.
a nice place. Yeah. Did you
Napa.
see Nikki Bella and Brie Bella?
I did not
Did
see
you
them.
get some belly? Did you? What's the name of that wine company?
Who
The
cares
wine
what
that
it
belly something.
do they actually have a wine?
Diucci? They do actually have a wine.
Impressive.
Yeah.
actually.
Also Napa and Yosemite National Park. That's actually pretty good.
Yosemite was
vacation.
cool. It was on fire when I went on my camping trip. Though.
Yeah. Well, this was back in 2011 for us. You know.
Okay, so it
Yeah.
wasn't on fire yet.
No, it was not.
It's
What
still-
else? What else do you have to complain about, Mr. Nick?
Catalina?
Yeah.
That was it? Oh, a couple of deer almost ran over our tent. one
Oh,
day,
are you
too.
serious?
That's entertaining.
Swear to God. And a fox peeked in while my girlfriend was changing, too. I swear that happened. So,
Oh, man.
nonetheless, those were, but the
Some naughty
a
animals
perv.
there, man.
yeah, I could care less about how much the restaurants cost, how much the places to stay cost. But if you're gonna upcharge me on a taxi for a guy driving 1 mile, and then stop the shuttles. Come on, man.
Improve on it.
Yeah.
Work on
Kiss
that.
my ass, Catalina. All right, I'll go again. But I'm not taking any of those.
No, you're not.
taxes.
They're not gonna allow you then.
We just lost
I
Catalina
just
fans
lost
over
Catalina.
there.
So we've lost Dallas Cowboys
Boys
fans,
fans.
and Catalina, people that live in Catalina Island.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say. There's not enough people. If we lose the viewership for Catalina, nothing's hurt.
All 5 of you.
Yeah. All 5 of you.
All 5 of you.
All right, so let's move back into the wrestling talk. Let's kind of look into what's the more of the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view build-up. Because that's obviously the next thing coming up. And then I want to talk a little bit about this Triple H Undertaker match that they're really building for
Yeah,
strong.
and I'm
Want
just-
to talk about that first?
And I'm sure.
Yeah,
I'm not
let's do
really
it.
invested into it. Like I'm not invested into it because we've seen this match. In my opinion, WrestleMania 28 should have been their last
I
final
totally agree with you.
encounter, and honestly, it should have been Undertaker's last match in general. Maybe it should have been all of their last matches because it was just a perfect way to send off 3 legends who had pretty much been the cornerstone of WrestleMania and the cornerstone of the WWE and helped them get through when it looked like for a second WCW was going to come through. So in my opinion, WrestleMania 28 should have been the very end, and that was just a perfect moment. And now we have that being completely erased for this Super Showdown, and for them to get us hyped for this, I can't emotionally get hyped for this.
I totally agree with you, man, because there's a reason why it was called the end of an era, because how they built it back in 2012, it felt like they were really going to finish off this feud, this rivalry, basically with all 3 of them, But this whole thing, I don't know if they're really going to be true to their word about having this match be the final time. Who knows? They might build it up again later because I don't see this be like the last match. I really feel that Triple H, there's going to be one day where he's going to be bored. He's going to be like, you know what? 5 years later or 6 years later, guess what? You guys want the era back? Well, guess what? The era's back. We're going to have another final match, the second final match, whatever it is. And then, but it's going to be it's going to be like in a different venue or something like that. And I don't know. This match, I think what it is it's just trying to get the viewership for this pay-per-view, this Australia Super Show match. Yeah, this pay-per-view. I think that's what it is. Trying to, maybe trying to help out the match card, but I don't know. I'm neutral with this.
The only way this is going to work is if Cena attacks Undertaker after this match.
I'd actually agree with
That's
that.
That's
spicy,
the only way
I
it
guess.
works.
Yeah,
That's the only way it works, because then it builds for WrestleMania.
If it's trying to like help out for like a next, pay-per-view or like a next match, and if this person's gonna attack Undertaker or maybe Cena, then yeah, I mean I'll totally go behind it.
If they're building this, I don't know if there's going to be like big championship matches on this card.
I mean
maybe Roman Reigns, because he seems like he's just defending the title every night now. But like, this probably will be, if this is the main event, something could happen at the end.
Well, they did the same thing for Cena and
No, but
Triple
that started
H
the show,
at
though.
Saudi Arabia. I mean,
Started the show, though.
Yeah.
It's different. The Brock Lesnar Roman Reigns thing actually did affect later storylines somewhat. So, that's the only way I'm going to be into. I'll watch the match, of course, because I'm not going to, I like to see. I want to see how Undertaker looks. I'm not going to miss the match, and it's pretty much. I probably won't watch it live, but I'll watch it at some
It's
point.
at 2:00 in the morning on our time, so I'm
Are you
definitely
serious?
not. Actually, I may be able to watch it while I'm driving home from work.
Wow.
On the way, put it on the dashboard.
I'll
Yeah.
put it on the dashboard.
And it's on a
Try not
Sunday?
to get into a car wreck.
Is it on a Sunday or Saturday?
It's on a Saturday night. It's on a Saturday.
Most people will be watching it on Sunday.
Yeah, I'll watch it on
Yeah,
Sunday.
like I'm gonna watch All In on Sunday
Yeah.
when I get home from work
Why not Saturday?
because I have to work. My schedule got changed.
Oh boy.
You get
Okay.
scheduled into All In. You're like, I gotta watch All In, guys.
My schedule got changed. I asked. I was like, "Hey, can you do this and this and this?" It's like, "Yeah." And then somebody's like, "Hey, I need you to switch with me." I'm like, oh, "Okay, whatever."
But yeah, so I mean, Eric, you're right. You're actually exactly correct. They're doing this because they needed attendance for the Sydney show or when at Melbourne or whatever it is, and they want people to actually watch. And people will watch to see
Oh, yeah.
Triple H and The Undertaker.
He's good at doing promos. He knows how to build matches. That's for
Yeah.
sure.
And then Shawn Michaels is going to be
Special
on Raw
guest
next
referee,
week.
probably. Yeah. I wouldn't
Maybe.
doubt it.
I mean, yeah, that'd be weird. I'd do the same thing they did. Might as well put him in Hell in a Cell too.
Yeah,
Hey, it's a rerun of the match that happened. Just they're older and
pretty much.
Triple H looks less cool now. So it's like,
Yeah.
But
He looks really old, man.
Triple H.
Yeah, he looks like he's for a man who's in such fantastic physical.
I disagree with that. I don't even know what you're
condition.
talking about.
His face looks
Triple H
old.
looks way better than the Undertaker.
Even my mama said it. She's like, he looks really old in the face. She looks like she's like, what is going on?
Question: does he look worse than Jason Sensation?
Okay, but we all knew Jason Sensation was gonna be bad. Look at his name. Jason Sensation just means the man's gonna look awful.
I don't know. With how old is Triple H? 48, 49? Somewhere on there?
49.
49? Oh, wow. Okay, so he's.
How long
nearing
before he takes it
50s.
over? Before he's really old?
That's if Vince McMahon is willing to do that.
That's the question I have.
Or dies?
If Vince
Which is
McMahon,
saying-
let's say Vince McMahon is around at 85, and Triple H is 64. Realistically, if Vince McMahon dies the next year, Triple H, you don't have that much time to take over.
Yeah.
You pretty much have got this until you die.
I feel like Vince McMahon's going to make decisions on his deathbed, okay? I hate to say it. He's still going to make.
And that's very, very true. And I think it's going to happen.
He's not going to let it go.
Or they sell the company to somebody.
Yeah.
Which I think
Vince
could
is-
be a possibility.
Vince is way too latched onto the company.
Well-
Yeah, Stephanie and them have even said we are not completely. We're actually kind of open to somebody if they make the right deal to selling the company to
Well,
someone.
what they could do too, and we saw this with the UFC, is Vince sells the company, but they agree to have Triple H as the booker. That you could do
Right.
that.
and Dana White, he
Because
said
Dana White stayed on as the booker for UFC, but they have completely new management.
he said that Triple H and Stephanie are actually pretty good people to work with.
Oh, Dana White said that?
Yeah, and Dana White.
course, yeah,
but he
exactly.
said Vince has been very difficult to work with. You know, he says I love the guy, but he's very difficult to work with. That's the thing.
I mean,
Yeah,
that says it right there, right?
And then Triple H is open to more unique things. I mean, I don't think
because it's
he
a
sees,
fresh mind.
I
you know?
don't think
That's
he
why.
sees All In as something that's like, oh my goodness, like we gotta snuff this out. Like Vince McMahon would probably see it. He sees it more as a thing of good. We've got some competition, so let's elevate ourselves.
And,
you know,
and also another thing is that Vince McMahon,
Whoa.
his mind. Oh, what you guys?
what the heck was? Oh my God, that's frightening. It's a Stephanie McMahon body with a cane, Kane's face on it.
serious?
Like with Triple H coming out, it was kind of creepy. I was a little
Yeah.
freaked out.
Yeah, I mean, I think that Vince, his mindset. Even Paul Heyman said that the guy's a competitor. His mindset is competition. That's what it is. He competes with his own family. That's the thing.
yeah, I mean, but so I don't know. How do we get on that topic about Triple H and taking over the company?
I mean, you're like.
Oh, you brought it
literally
up,
looking
right?
at-
Okay, G-Man.
Oh, because I said about his face and whatnot. And realistically, I don't think Triple H will have that much time if he is the person who's going to take over the company, which I'm actually starting to doubt.
I actually thought that Shane was going to take over.
Yeah, I think there is
Yeah.
some issue between Shane and them in the company. From what I was hearing some rumors that Shane McMahon and them had a fallout. And actually, Triple H and Shane don't like each other. That's the rumor I've heard.
Oh, you saying is that why that Shane's not on TV right now, or
No, I'm saying that's a major reason, like why Shane McMahon hasn't taken over. Shane McMahon and Triple H don't like each other,
Well,
and there
you
were
know
some
what?
issues. And Shane
This-
left the company
clearly needs to be resolved in a match between the two? That's what happens.
for control
We
of the
sell
company.
these fights in the ring, right?
Oh yeah.
Kurt Angle.
Speaking
says.
of which,
Said.
I'm hearing rumors that he's coming back to face Baron Corbin for the GM spot of
Kurt
Raw.
Angle?
Yeah,
There you
That
go.
makes sense.
I don't want to see Kurt Angle, man.
You don't see
You
Kurt
don't
Angle
want
on
to
the
see him
ring?
as GM. You'd rather see Baron freaking Corbin as GM.
No, I honestly
Oh,
don't
yeah.
want to see Kurt Angle wrestling.
Oh,
anymore.
wrestle. Oh,
I'm
okay.
tired
Oh,
of.
oh, yeah.
I want Kurt Angle.
I
I
don't wanna
want
see
to
Baron
remember
Corbin
Kurt
wrestle
Angle for
anymore.
the 3 eyes, the guy who had a little bit of hair, the guy in TNA. I don't remember. This Kurt Angle is just. His body's broken down, and I understand it. He's
lot
been
of
through a
surgeries.
lot of surgeries.
Did you guys see like a month and a half ago when Baron Corbin mocked the way Kurt Angle walked in the ring?
No, I didn't see it.
They were like, it was one of those segments where Angle was
Frickin'
doing
Baron.
something. He made some bias match toward a face, and Corbin came out. He's like, "You can't come walking out here," and he bent his head and waddled around the
He
ring.
knows how to get a real heel
It was
hate, man.
Really, really good. It was really, really good. But
Freaking Baron.
okay, and here's another thing I want to talk about. The banter between Elias and Trish Stratus. Oh, fantastic.
That was fantastic.
Oh
Hit a
man,
nerve right there, man.
yeah, no, exactly. Well, Elias bringing up a lot of good points about Maple Leafs hockey, which incensed the crowd, and then obviously you had Trish going out there. Now she's from the old days, and then the thing he said about the Playboy pillow fight.
I
was
know.
like,
Oh, yeah.
I've been waiting for 10 years.
I know.
Oh, it's great.
And I'm gonna be honest with you,
80-year-old woman.
in the back of every single man's mind, they're thinking,
They're like, yeah.
I want to see that. Like, just because we're in the Me Too movement, women's revolution, evolution, don't mean we don't want to see hot women fighting too.
I completely agree with that. But yeah. So that was very interesting. I thought the last couple of Raws have been pretty good.
Where do you think they're headed with this Braun Strowman situation and Roman Reigns situation? Because I thought it was aligning Roman Reigns as a heel when he had the Shield come out and beat him. A lot of people see Braun Strowman as a heel now, and I think Braun Strowman, in my opinion, is justified
After
in
what he
getting,
did last week,
and-
he's a heel for sure.
but
Yeah.
he's justified in getting two other guys to help him. It's just him and Drew
Ziggler and
McIntyre and
McIntyre.
Ziggler versus the Shield.
Yeah, but McIntyre and Ziggler are clear heels, so you don't align yourself with heels.
Well,
if
you
you're
got to
a
align
face.
yourself with somebody. You can't just have one big guy going up. At some point, I don't care if you are a giant. 3 dudes, especially of Roman Reigns, Ambrose, and Rollins' caliber, are going to catch up with you eventually. And it happened 2 weeks ago. So if I was them, it makes sense for Braun Strowman to say, hey, let me get these guys in the line with them. Now, Braun Strowman could just do a complete 180 next week and just destroy McIntyre and Ziggler after
done
he
that in
gets
the
rid of
past.
it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I
He
don't
doesn't need
think...
anybody.
But Braun Strowman's a monster, and we all know who we're cheering for is a monster. But I'm still not cheering for Roman Reigns. Like y'all trying.
I want Braun Strowman to win.
And I'm sick and tired of this whole now Roman Reigns. I'm gonna come out and talk that street, that that whole thing, that whole promo thing, and he says how he should respect the title, and then he puts the title. What's that thing he does with the title, man? What is he doing with the title where he puts it over his
I don't
shoulder
know.
like that?
Yeah, it's not like the
weird.
camera shoots him from behind either. It doesn't make any sense.
It's really weird.
Yeah, I don't know.
He tries to be cool, and it just doesn't come off as cool. It just comes off as forced BS.
Artificial.
My thing is like who would Roman Reigns face next after Braun Strowman? Like if he just beats him,
And
I think Strowman's got to win, right?
that's the problem. The Raw roster sucks. You know what? Finn Balor should turn Finn Balor should be a person he should be in a long-standing rivalry with. Who else can I see? Drew McIntyre, bro.
Oh yeah, Drew
Drew
McIntyre's
McIntyre's
Yeah.
on the same roster. They might be saving that match for WrestleMania. They might be saving that match for something bigger.
Do you think Roman keeps it till WrestleMania?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Probably, actually. Now that
And
I
who
think
would win
about
the
it.
Royal Rumble? Then
I would love to see Drew McIntyre versus Roman Reigns. That's fresh. That's something different. 2 big men going at it in the ring.
they both look the same height. And
What if they
same
do like
height.
Rollins versus Reigns though?
They can't do that because now they've aligned them as best buds. You can't just
Break
have
him
a
up,
shin.
break him
The
up at
Shield.
the Royal Rumble or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I think honestly, Rollins is destined for Ambrose. I think that's the one you want to go with. And now that
Interesting.
and they've
It would
kinda-
have to be Rollins as probably the heel.
and they've kind of
Yeah.
gotten
Again.
our mindsets off of Ambrose is turning heel to now this whole Shield thing and Braun Strowman thing. So pretty soon it's gonna line right back over.
Well, I think they did the Shield because they want to do something at Survivor Series with them, more than likely. They want to. My hope would be Shield versus the Undisputed Era at Survivor Series.
If they get called up,
It
that's
wouldn't
for
be
sure.
credible enough. I couldn't see those dudes going up against the Shield, man. The Shield is so elevated right now
They're
in
such
terms
top
of
guys.
they're such top
Yeah.
guys because the WWE built this new era around these 3 dudes that right now to have Undisputed Era just come up to the main roster and face them at Survivor Series just doesn't make sense.
Right.
Sorry.
But it
You
is
gotta-
face versus heels.
How
though.
long did it take the Shield before they were established? How long did it take them to get established?
almost like a year.
A year or so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to remember when like the turning point happened. Probably when they were like attacking like Undertaker and
Yeah, it
people
was
like
2011 when the Shield debuted, I believe.
No,
Yeah.
2012.
2012 or
Yeah,
2011?
because they triple powerbombed Ryback
Yeah.
during the match between Cena and CM Punk. It was
that. No,
back
it was
Ryback and
CM Punk and Ryback, not Cena and CM Punk.
Yeah.
Cena and CM Punk ended in Chicago.
Oh, okay, yeah. I
Yeah.
forgot about
And one of the best matches I've ever seen in my life. A match in Chicago.
Almost at
that.
that.
Money in the Bank, right?
Freaking phenomenal.
That's
Freaking
amazing.
phenomenal. But yeah, it's fantastic. I mean, at the end of the day, this is the WWE season where things are slowing down, and Vince McMahon said, "Hey, Chris Jericho had said to Vince McMahon, hey, there's this All In pay-per-view, and he's like, when is it? September. He was like, oh, you should have told those guys to call me. You never want to promote anything in September. That's what Chris Jericho said Vince McMahon told him. Never promote anything in September.
Why not?
Because of football season, I think. I think football season started, so it's kind of difficult.
Yeah,
but you know what, Eric? What do you have to tell us about All In on your indie update?
Absolutely.
You want to do it right now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So
We got to get this boy over to his birthday party, man.
of course, man. All right. So, well, before we get to All In and also the dream match of the day, so something happened at the Black Craft Wrestling show.
What is this? What was it called again?
Black Craft Wrestling show.
Craft or crap?
Black Craft. You know the clothing brand?
No.
Black Craft. It's like some sort of like a witchery,
Makes
black
sense.
magic. You
Makes
know,
sense.
clothing
was-
line.
I'm
I
not
thought it
into
was-
that.
When he said black crap wrestling, I was like, I cannot believe this. Hear this.
Yeah.
Jack. No, I'm
Stay
just-
black.
Yeah, stay black. Eric, that's a good placement right there.
Yeah.
Good
yeah.
place to stay black.
That one doesn't count.
He hasn't used it in months.
Yeah.
He saved it up in a
He's
perfect
got some
time.
saved up. He's got like money in the bank. Stay blacks.
Yeah,
Oh,
stay
yeah.
black.
He casts him in the perfect moment. That was perfect.
So Paige got physical in the event. It's she got physical with Britt Baker, whom she was facing with up against Paige's mother, Soraya Knight. So what happened was that she
Paige?
Yeah,
Wait a
Paige.
minute.
Yeah,
Say
Say,
WWE
say,
page?
this, say it again.
Paige.
Say the whole thing again, though.
What?
So you just said that Paige
Yeah.
got involved in another company's.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
When
she
did
got
this
herself.
happen?
This happened during the
Paige is-
weekend.
Well, Paige is no longer an official wrestler, so
Yeah, that's the thing. That's
She can do
very
whatever she wants.
confusing.
Adam Cole got to do it a few months ago. He
Yeah.
actually got to compete with the North American Championship in Evolve Wrestling, I believe.
Yeah.
Evolve Wrestling's left something on my window after SmackDown.
Oh really?
Did you guys know that?
Oh, I didn't know
Oh,
that.
nice,
They-
man.
Yeah, I have a little thing. Yeah, I have a little thing.
Okay. Got some connections there.
Wait a minute, we gotta go. We gotta go to these events,
Evolve
man,
Wrestling?
and
Yeah.
talk to people about
Well, I
the
mean,
ring
if Adam
generals.
Cole's there, absolutely I'll go.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So what happened was that she helped her mother win the first ever women's Black Craft Wrestling Championship, thanks to Paige, her involvement. That is.
I mean, it's not fair though because you can't beat up Paige.
Yeah, I mean that's the confusing part.
It's like beating up Edge or beating up Daniel Bryan before he came back.
Yeah.
It's not fair.
It's
So
it's not.
that's-
You know, we're
you know.
probably going to be seeing her more in the
Real life,
company.
you just clock her in the head and be like, I don't care about her neck.
Yeah.
Right?
and so also in October.
Nicknames and storyline.
So in October, NW.
No, I mean in real life, you do that in real life.
Well,
Right.
In real life, you
it
wouldn't
just,
care
did,
if someone
it just
has
didn't sound
concussion
right when you
issues.
said that. I'm just saying. It
Well,
just
no.
didn't sound
What
right.
I'm
Somebody
saying
could
is,
take that sound bite.
It's not fair in
20
wrestling
years.
when you book people that interfere that you can't technically beat up. But in real life, that's why it comes off dumb because in real life, you just hit the guy off the
All
apron.
right, I see what you're saying.
You know?
You just have to clear
You
it
wouldn't
up.
care about their neck or
Me
their
Too
head.
Men, I don't want the Me Too men to come after you.
That was more NFL concussion issue than.
All right, Eric, this is your segment, sir.
apologize.
I apologize.
No worries.
RKJ Man's not making any sense. So I apologize.
All right, so we got that out of the way, and also Neville is he's scheduled. Well, there's like a rumor going on that he might be at the All In pay-per-view, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. Also, for NWA, they will be celebrating their 70th anniversary this October. 70 years old, and they're going to be having I think they're going to be having a show celebrating 70 years of nothing but NWA, the National Wrestling Alliance. So that should be something very, looking forward to. And if anybody wants to know where you can find All In, you can find it at Fight TV and Honor Club. And the pre-show will be aired on the WGN America.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's a pre-show.
There's a pre-show for All In.
Yeah.
Oh well, WGN America is just a Chicago-based channel, though. I don't think that's actually. I don't think if you have like direct
Still
TV,
a
I don't
big
think you get
deal.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. That is a big deal.
Where can we find All In again? Because I want to sign
Fight
up.
TV.
Fight TV, and if you're signed up for Honor Club.
How much is it? $49.95 or something?
I think it's like either 30 or 40 around
Can
there.
you watch it on demand?
I don't know.
You could probably. I know an app. We could probably like pirate it off. And
Okay,
watch it
don't
for
say
free.
this on the
save that later.
podcast.
I'm not going to say the app. I just know I'm not paying $40 to watch All In. I don't know enough. I don't know enough of the people. I'm sure the wrestling would be great, but I'm not. If it was like you said, CM Punk,
Rey
I'd watch it.
Mysterio. Rey Mysterio's in it. Yeah.
Rey Mysterio would be in
Pentagon
WWE.
Jr.?
Pentagon Jr. will be in there. and also of course Cody, Nick Aldis, all those guys.
Nick Jackson,
Kenny Omega or no?
Kenny Omega's gonna be there. Oh
Kenny
yeah,
Omega.
he's got a match.
Young Bucks.
Young Bucks. You know, who knows? Who's gonna pop in? So maybe Kevin Owens.
I hope Kevin Owens shows up. Just to
Kevin Owens quit.
If Triple
Yeah,
H
he
wants
quit.
to do cool things, I would have Kevin Owens show up in storyline.
Oh yeah.
But is that the end of? Oh, you got
The dream match.
the dream match. What's your dream match?
So we talked about
about
Shawn
this, yeah.
Michaels. We talked about Shawn Michaels a little bit earlier. So this is a match that I think a lot of wrestling fans have been wanting to see and been dreaming about. They could have had the
know what he's
opportunity
gonna say about
back
that.
in the Attitude Era with Shawn Michaels. What would it be like if you guys would have loved to see Shawn Michaels go up against somebody who's electrifying, somebody who is in Hollywood,
God,
John
former
Cena.
please don't
former
tease me like this.
world heavyweight champion
This
and
is like a hot
WWF
girl
champion.
posting a hot picture on Instagram.
Used
bro.
to be with Nation of Domination.
He's building this up so much.
used to be the corporate champion, or basically, should I say, the people's champion, The Rock, Rocky Maivia.
Dwayne Johnson.
Oh yeah,
If Shawn Michaels had his life right in 2000, that would have been your perfect WrestleMania match. If he had his life right, like he is right now, it would have been the perfect matchup. Because at the end of the day, when you had DX, when you had that Shawn Michaels being the referee thing with DX, with Triple H and The Rock in that 60-minute Iron
Yeah.
match and then Judgment Day 2000,
yeah.
all Rock had to do is go up to Shawn Michaels and says, "You cost me that matchup.
Oh yeah.
Get ready for WrestleMania or do something." And it's just frustrating because I heard
Or
rumors.
maybe SummerSlam. I
There
don't
was
know.
rumors going around that apparently, and I think this is confirmed in some way, that Shawn Michaels had said something bad about The Rock's grandmother's promotion because Vince would send wrestlers down there to like.
Was it during his Hall of Fame? The
No.
Hall of Fame speech? Oh no.
No, this was when The Rock was a kid.
Oh okay.
And The Rock was like 10, 13. He was like a teenager, and Shawn Michaels was talking crap about his grandmother's promotion, how it was disgusting and stuff like that. I
Really?
forgot what exactly
Wow.
what it was allegedly Shawn Michaels said, but The Rock said right then and there, I heard that he would never wrestle Shawn Michaels again. And then also I heard that when Rock was coming up, Shawn Michaels and Triple H actually tried to hold down The Rock. And Bret Hart took The Rock under his wing and said, "Hey, no, I want this guy. This guy's going to be really good." And, because Triple H and Shawn Michaels had that professional jealousy towards The Rock, it was something serious. Nick's looking it up right now to
I
confirm.
think I found the exact thing you were looking at. So you guys just keep talking.
You're on Sportskeeda, though. That's not really a credible source.
They was talking about Hawaii. Just keep going. Keep going.
But at the end of the day, I mean, that would have been a fantastic matchup. Two of the greatest superstars of all time, two cornerstones of the WWE, Shawn Michaels and The Rock. It doesn't get any bigger than that.
Oh, yeah.
You could realistically still do the match today. I think these guys are in may be in better physical condition today than they were 10, 15 years ago.
Even The Rock said himself he would have loved to wrestle Shawn Michaels.
But The Rock is saying that because The Rock's in Hollywood now. He's a PR
Yeah,
guy
that's
now.
true.
And
He has his own
we don't know what
company.
The Rock is saying behind closed doors about Shawn Michaels. He may have forgiven Shawn Michaels, but he still probably doesn't forget what Shawn Michaels have said about him in the past, whether it be personally or about his family. So,
Right.
and it's very disrespectful if you're coming into another person's promotion and talking crap about their promotion like that, and all that. But we all know Shawn Michaels was messed up in the past. He's found God and he's good. But, that might explain why it was probably brought up by Vince and The Rock said, "No, I'm not doing it."
for a guy that projects so much positivity on Instagram, get over it, Dwayne. Okay, your grandma's wrestling, whatever it was, probably wasn't that good. It would be competing with WWE right now, right? If it was great.
Well,
So
you have
Shawn
to
was probably
understand
right.
that
I'm just saying it's
it
like
may still be going,
Yeah.
but I mean, it's
you got to have
it was
thicker
a-
skin than that. For
it
a
was-
guy that projects all this stuff on Instagram, positivity, be nice. I'll hold it over Shawn Michaels for the rest of my life, but he said something mean about my grandma's wrestling promotion.
Allegedly, and we don't even know if that's true or not. But I do know that
I read it, but it said that I think The Rock hit him hard in a match in the face or something because of it too, and then that really added to it.
yeah,
He
I mean,
stiffed him.
Yeah.
What's wrong with that? I mean, at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, business is business, man. We've missed out on a lot of dream matches because of some BS. Like, you should have had Hulk Hogan and Ric Flair at WrestleMania. That should have been the WrestleMania.
It's different companies.
That should have been at WrestleMania. No.
Oh,
And
back in the day.
Yeah, back in the day.
Yeah.
And you really should have had Hulk Hogan versus Stone Cold Steve Austin
That's another one.
at
Oh, yeah.
WrestleMania at one point. And then also we should have had Stone Cold versus Goldberg. So
Oh, yeah,
a lot
that's
of
another match right
politics
there.
has screwed us over from these dream matches that we keep fantasizing over that we'll never see. We'll never see Undertaker versus Sting because Sting got fed to Triple H.
Yeah, that's true.
Fed
It's-
Seth Rollins. That's who hurt him.
I think what he means is the booking as far as,
we all
But
know
Sting
that
would still be wrestling.
we all know Sting should have been fighting The Undertaker.
But he could have
that-
if he wouldn't have hurt his back. He hurt his back. You know?
You had a chance to do it at WrestleMania 31, Nick.
And another
and
thing
you
is,
lost it.
And another thing is that what did Triple H? I mean, Triple H had nothing to lose at that WrestleMania match. I mean, he had nothing to lose. I mean, he could just take that loss at WrestleMania from Sting. But of course, being selfish, we got the win from Triple H.
But there's a lot of unselfish people right now in All In, guys.
I
Oh,
blame Eric Bischoff. Eric Bischoff talked so much crap back in the day. Vince is just still getting back at Eric. All these wrestlers getting punished for what Eric Bischoff continually
Oh yeah, it's
said.
what it is. It's
The
what it is.
wrestlers were just kind of getting paid. We're going for the money. Vince just wouldn't pay them. Eric Bischoff really fueled it that they were going to fail and all this stuff. So I don't really put it on Vince as much as you guys do because Eric Bischoff talked a lot of shit back in the day. So it's over now, though.
Well, now he's saying he didn't do all that stuff back in the
Wonder
day
if
on
he-
this podcast, 83 Weeks with Eric
It's just
Bischoff.
not, I mean, he could say whatever he wants.
Probably talking right now as we speak.
Look at Shawn Michaels. Did you have a match, a dream match? this week?
I don't really. I
No,
wanted to focus
It's
really.
mainly about his match. If
Yeah.
you don't have one, I was gonna piggyback off some also that could still happen. Shawn Michaels and AJ Styles. There's
That's-
rumors at Royal Rumble, I think 2 years ago, that they were gonna have a match, and Shawn Michaels declined because he said he doesn't think that he has the ability to keep up with Styles anymore. So he doesn't think the fans would enjoy it as much.
Like slow him down. Like
he
slow
just
down,
think
right?
Sean's like doesn't train for wrestling anymore, and
Right.
if they had a match,
But he's in great shape.
he's in great shape.
He
but
may
he's not
look
in great
like it.
wrestling
I
shape
think it's more
compared to
wrestling
AJ Styles, who's
That's
at
true.
the
He's
peak.
got to keep up with AJ.
So
That's
it
the
still
thing.
could happen, but that's a match I definitely would love to see because of
another-
the
yeah,
in-ring
that's a good match
ability
right
of
there.
Shawn Michaels and AJ Styles. They're very similar the way they wrestle. So that's what I wanted to throw. When you said that's what I thought you were going to say, the Rock one was even better.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's because I think you guys might have heard about AJ Styles versus Shawn Michaels in one of the interviews, but I wanted to throw a little bit of a curveball in that one for you guys. You know,
Absolutely. All right, so
Time for All In.
all in.
all in.
All In. Why are we talking in All In the family? All in the family.
I gotta find it.
You know, I personally think now this event has to be a top event for the weekend for a lot of reasons. And one of the major reasons is if you want wrestling to survive, you've got to have events like these outside of the WWE to bring notoriety to people, to bring notoriety to wrestling,
Open doors.
Open doors.
Oh yeah.
keep the legitimacy going, and also to provide some sort of competition for the WWE so the WWE doesn't get completely lax on their morals.
To any wrestler out there, any independent wrestler, this is your chance.
This is huge. Look at this. This is beautiful. I just think it's just beautiful how these guys, Cody Rhodes, the Young Bucks. I don't know if Kenny Omega involved in this, Eric?
Just the Young Bucks and Cody.
Kenny Omega is facing Pentagon Jr.
He is. Yeah.
That's a great match.
I think this is beautiful because it gives
Stacked,
everybody an opportunity outside of the WWE to say to the WWE, hey, look, just because we're not there anymore doesn't mean we're not still successful.
Right.
And I think this is a huge opportunity. When Dave Meltzer made that comment, this is all because of Dave Meltzer, that they couldn't sell out an arena like this, and they went out and did that, that confirmed to themselves, Dave Meltzer, us, the WWE, most importantly perhaps, that hey, it ain't all about the WWE and the wrestling industry anymore. You guys don't have this complete monopoly, and that if we can all join together and establish ourselves as a credible group and a credible unit, we could actually do something pretty special here, and it starts with All In. That's what I think personally. I think All In is a huge opportunity. a podcasting special, which I hope if they continue this, that the Ring Generals will be at one day. Starcast. I mean, this is all about.
Call us up.
This is all about networking. This is all about providing something, and for having. If you want wrestling to continue, you've got to have events like All In to keep going. I believe, Eric, you said to me before the podcast, this is the biggest non-WWE or WCW event that's been held outside of 1993.
Oh yeah.
That's
been since
ridiculous,
1993.
man. Like, it's been a complete.
Wait, say that statement again.
He said that ever since 1993, pretty much, this is the first time since 1993 that a big wrestling event like of this caliber, non-WCW or non-WWE
I didn't
has been
think
held.
you said WCW, and I was gonna be like,
yeah.
what are you
Yeah,
talking about?
it's
Yeah.
both companies. You know, the event marks the first non-WWE and WCW promoted pro wrestling event in the U.S.
What about TNA?
No,
That doesn't count.
that didn't count, to be honest.
And
But
on top of
TNA
that,
had some big pay-per-views though back in the day.
yeah, but this isn't a TNA never could fill out a 10, 15,000 seat
This is
stadium.
10,000. This is 10,000
It's-
tickets.
Yeah,
that
it's
was
about
sold.
it's about 10 11,000.
Honestly, they could have went somewhere
way
else.
bigger than the Long Beach Pyramid. For where
That
Long
would be
Beach
nice.
State is.
That'd be cool.
That's about 6,000. They did a show there.
Is that where Evolution's being held at? Or
No,
you said-
Evolution's being held at the Nassau
Oh,
Coliseum.
my
Yeah,
bad, my
yeah,
bad.
that's
No,
my
no,
bad.
I'm
Not
talking
South
about.
Coliseum. I'm sorry.
They did like one of their G4 specials or whatever in Long Beach, where Long Beach State plays basketball. It's a big pyramid you see it off the freeway. That only had 4,000 to 6,000, so that's a big jump. They doubled it,
Right.
Practically tripled it in some way. So very impressive. Remember, I was telling you on the phone earlier today that when I said you, I meant RKJ Man. That I think they could have sold out a normal arena for this specific event. Other events, don't know. But this one, because this has been promoted for so long.
My
yeah.
only thing, my biggest thing is like these dudes, and they said it in a statement this week. These dudes have no experience promoting anything. They don't have any
No,
experience.
and Cody's already talking about a second All In for next year.
It's all new. Like,
Well, they
come
need
on.
to keep it going. They need to
gotta
stop.
keep
They
it-
need to not go for one event per year. They just need to keep it going.
This needs to be
Yeah.
like a WrestleMania for the independents.
yeah, but they need
And
to
all
still
be
have
all
that-
for them.
They need to have stuff
Yeah.
going all
Yeah.
the time.
Oh yeah.
And if you're the WWE, you know, what more can I say? I mean, they're probably just gonna come
Take
out.
notes.
All they're gonna do is just come out with big contracts.
Yeah.
But the thing about the All In, the thing about the independents is there's always going to be another person coming up who's hungry, maybe even much more hungrier than the dudes that are getting featured in All In. How many dudes are being left, men and women, are being left off the card who you think should be in All In? There's a few of them that follow our podcast
Well,
right
A
now.
lot of there's
Eric?
only one women's match on this card.
Yeah.
One women's match.
Madison Rain, Britt Baker, Chelsea Green, and Tessa
And I think that's
Blanchard.
a pre-show match, to be honest with you. I think that's
No,
on
it's a-
WG
No,
it's
in
not.
America.
No, it's
No,
not.
the pre-show
there's
is
a-
the-
There's a battle royal to see who's going to face Jay Lethal later in the show for
Yeah.
the Ring of Honor
Over
title.
budget battle royal.
And
Yeah.
then the Briscoe brothers versus Frank Kazarian and Scorpio Sky. So Briscoe brothers are they're one of the more hot tag teams
Oh, yeah.
on the Indies too. So that's surprising they're on the
Ring of
pre-show.
Honor, yeah, they're
Weren't they
mostly
in
Well, they
NXT? I
put,
feel like they were
problem
in
is they put
NXT.
Stephen Dumbass Amell on the
ML, yeah,
show.
from Green,
That guy,
Green
should
Arrow.
be,
The
that
show.
guy should be in the pre-show, man. He's not a wrestler.
Well, you got to have something to market to casual fans or people who are non-wrestling fans. If I'm a DC person, I like Arrow, or even a Marvel person, I say, oh, that's Stephen Amell. He's on that comic book
That's
show.
true. You know what
Okay.
it is? I don't care at all about comics, so these guys come up and I don't know the popularity, but they are popular. That's a bias thing.
And plus, Cody Rhodes has been on Arrow multiple times as Stardust.
He has?
As Stardust?
Yeah, he actually had a drug called Stardust in the thing,
Stardust.
which is actually sounds like the perfect drug.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, very very good point.
That sounds like a really good drug. I'm like, whoa.
Jeff Hart should try it.
So
It sounds like no, I've never tried drugs.
So I'm gonna kind of list off some of the match for it. You know, there might be people there listening that listen for WWE stuff and have no idea what we're talking about here with this
Right.
All In thing. So some of the top matches: Kenny Omega versus Pentagon Jr., Christopher Daniels versus Stephen Amell, if you're a fan of that actor. Big tag team match: Rey Mysterio, Phoenix, and a guy named Bandito
Bandito,
versus
With Theo Rossi.
the Golden I don't know who that is.
He played in Sons of Anarchy, Eric.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
him.
okay.
Juice.
I was,
And
gonna say,
he
I was
played-
thinking wrestlers.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know who that is.
And he played in what is it? What's the movie or the Netflix show? Luke Cage.
Luke Cage, yeah.
I
He's
love
in the
Luke Cage.
So
As Shades,
they
yeah.
are facing the Golden Elite, Matt Jackson, Nick Jackson, the Young Bucks, and Koto Ibushi, who I know has had fantastic matches with Kenny Omega in the past. So
Yeah.
the guy can wrestle. Let's see,
Okada versus Marty.
Okada versus Marty Scurll. That's
yeah.
a Bullet
Scurll.
Club versus a non-Bullet Club member, and then you
Japan
have
Pro Wrestling.
Nick Aldis versus Cody Rhodes,
Main
singles
event.
match
For the
NWA
NWA
World Heavyweight Championship. There's also a street fight, a battle royal. Jay Lethal is also defending the Ring of Honor Championship. So it sounds like a pretty good show
Oh, yeah.
for the independents. Who is on this, or who is not on this right now that we can think of on top of our heads? Not CM Punk and Neville and Kevin Owens, because they're probably not going to be on the show in the match. So they might show up. But
that's a
what,
great
who,
question.
who got let off?
It's a
you
great
know?
question.
That's a good question. I mean,
I gotta look at a roster.
Oh, there's also the members of the Battle Royal are guys like Colt Cabana, Brian Cage, Billy Gunn, guys like that. A lot of other guys I've never heard of, but
well, if Colt Cabana's showing up, I guess that means CM Punk ain't showing up.
that's a very good point right
I
there.
guess we mean.
Oh, CM Punk ain't coming back.
If you want
Cross
to
it
see
off.
a real Chicago street
D-Bug.
fight,
oh, yeah.
that's a real Chicago street fight right there that might break out.
But so, is there anybody else that we would want to see that's on the independents? I know Neville just got released from WWE.
Yeah.
Obviously, you have Punk. You have
If he could,
Owens'
if he wasn't
storyline,
still,
probably.
if he wasn't, I was gonna say that Kevin Owens. I would love to see Kevin Steen.
Oh, yeah.
Come
Kevin
out
Steen,
one
go
more
back
time.
OG. Yeah.
I want to see him one more time on the
I
Independence.
got one. Chris Jericho's not on the
Chris
show.
Jericho. Oh, yeah.
Chris Jericho probably will make a surprise.
He might.
Okay, that's
yeah.
fair.
Chris
I can
Jericho
see it.
might.
Hey, if he's not with WWE, he should be
Yeah.
doing this.
Chris
kind of
Jericho's
stuff.
doing whatever he wants, man. That's if any wrestler out there needs to live their life like Chris Jericho is. He's got his stuff on the side. He's a free agent. He does whatever he wants. He has no problem using leverage in any situation. He has no problem.
Yeah, and he's also got that cruise ship coming up this October. Yeah.
I'm so jealous, man.
He's
Chris
got
Jericho
everybody
cruise.
in there,
How
dude.
much does a cruise cost?
I don't know, but
Should the ringmails make an appearance?
I looked it up and I'm like, man, I want to
Call us up, Jericho.
Man, that'd be worth taking the days off work.
Yeah, I know, that is what
Y2J, Y2J, call us up, man.
Why that we can make the Y2J RKJ.
Oh, yeah.
That's fantastic.
That was good. But so,
RKJ, that's great.
so the thing is, though, this just reminds me, to be honest, of a New Japan card. So we'll see how well it actually does, and I'm very interested in this event because I kind of hope it does give WWE some competition, because that just means WWE will step it
Yeah.
up. Although they have so much of a better roster than we're looking at right here.
But the WWE poaches from most of these type of
Well,
rosters.
where else would you poach from? You have to. There's no roster. They're defending like 3 different company titles on this.
I know.
If
but
this
I'm
is
just
going to give them
saying,
competition, this should help out the card for WWE, the main roster, if anything. If they're
I doubt they let. By the way, I doubt they allow Kevin Owens to go to this event.
I would.
maybe the
If you
NXT,
want the storyline to get better.
maybe some of the NXT superstars, we might see them there. I don't know. Not fighting, but mostly in attendance, I think.
He could. Yeah, there's nothing. I mean, there's nothing that says they can't attend an event, right? You pay your money.
You pay your ticket,
Pay a
you're
ticket.
good,
You get the undisputed era in the first row.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, that would be fantastic.
Right after
You don't have to
say
wrestle.
the Young Bucks win, right? You get the Golden Elite wins, and then the undisputed era sitting right there.
That would be great.
You don't have
Yeah.
to wrestle. You can just watch it. We might see maybe Velveteen Dream might be in the attendance. I don't know. Ricochet?
He wouldn't be a guy.
I would
think
love
would
if
be there.
NXT invaded all in.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
That's what you want.
there you go.
NXT.
And it's best for business.
Can we please tweet this to some people at NXT and
I'm
see if
wondering
they,
why they have his name as Cody Rhodes on this thing.
Oh, on it's YouTube.
It
It's
is Wikipedia, but
It's
still.
Wikipedia.
You'd think that.
But that's the man's name. It's Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
The only reason why the WWE apparently owns the Rhodes name, which don't get me started about how the WWE won't let that man use his last name. I think that's BS. You should be able to let the man use his last name. The only reason, that's the only reason why they're calling him Cody, and he's become a bigger superstar outside of WWE.
Oh yeah,
than
he's
he
done
has.
a lot. Yeah. But
It's time to move on, man, and I'm glad Cody Rhodes is doing his thing, man. But
Well, to be honest, his real last name is not Rhodes, so technically he.
Runnels, whatever.
It's
Runnels,
what
yeah.
I'm saying.
Cody
That's why
Runnels.
they can do that because it's not technically his real name.
But see, you can't let the man have a name. A name is something that's precious.
It's not his
an
name, man.
identity.
Well,
He changed his name later in life, but that doesn't count.
what would it be like to see?
If I changed my name to like penis or something at the end of it, like people are gonna call me, you know, if my name is Nick Penis, like that's gonna be trademarked by WB.
Man,
right?
imagine this: Cody becoming the NWA champion, just like his father. Imagine that.
That'd be pretty cool. Yeah.
The
We'll see if
oldest
Nick Aldis
championship.
is down, but he took a while to even accept that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So that'd be great. They have booking problems and they can't. There's like, we want this historic thing to be like, nope, I'm not dropping the title. I just won't
Right.
show up to the event.
I mean, that could happen.
It could happen, yeah.
And something like this, you don't really have a big time promoter who's really back there. Who's, I guess, the Young Bucks and Cody Rhodes and all of them are the main people backstage who are like the agents. You don't have like agents who have been in the business
No,
for
it's
15, 20,
wrestlers.
30
Yeah.
years. It's just
Well,
all wrestlers.
in May, most of this, to be honest, is also based on the wrestling too. There's not a lot of storylines around these. Like, there's probably not a big storyline around
Yeah.
Omega and Pentagon Jr. because you know,
I think there's more of a storyline with Nick and
it's Nick
Cody.
and Cody. That's the only
Yeah.
thing that's been booked besides New Japan stuff. But that's nobody's following.
Was
that if you're in America.
WrestleMania 1 like that too? I feel like WrestleMania 1, the only big thing that was around that had a storyline.
The
was
first
the
few
main event.
WrestleManias.
But that's the first one though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're saying you
I've
just
compared
this
All In to
WrestleMania 1.
WrestleMania. And I'm telling you right now, this has the potential to be the WrestleMania of the independent scene.
And then later on, they can build storylines. You know, we might
You guys
see
wanna,
that.
Yeah, you guys want to hear their sponsors for the show too.
And that's what I'm interested
Two
in
of
hearing.
two of them are what you'd expect. Two of them aren't. The two you'd expect are Hot Topic and Pro Wrestling Tees.
Okay.
Pro
And
Wrestling
the
Tees, I
other,
understand.
the other two that's interesting is Cracker Barrel and TGI Fridays.
First of all, salute to Cracker Barrel, man. They got some.
knew you were gonna
I love me as a
I knew you were gonna
Me
say
and my
that.
former best friend, man, we would go in on some Cracker Barrel, man. We actually, fun story, real quick. Pause, real quick.
Hey, man, go
me
out
and my
there,
former
support
best
them.
friend, when we used to work at the same company, we actually one time from where I used to live went all the way up to Arizona. I forgot where in Arizona again.
I think
but
you said Tucson.
yeah, I don't know where it was. It was only a 4-hour drive. It was the same drive that you would take to Las Vegas. We went up to the Cracker Barrel because that was the nearest Cracker Barrel to
You
us.
literally
Drove from there on a
What?
Sunday.
Oh, man.
We drove all the way
Wow,
up
man.
there. I just got paid. Everybody was like looking at us like, why are you doing that from our job? And I'm like, this is the best food ever. And then we came back down. We went to San Diego. That was really a great day. But I mean, yeah, salute to Cracker Barrel, man. That's a great place, man. You give them all free Cracker Barrel. After the match, you give them free macaroni and cheese and cornbread.
Yeah, but so and then like I was mentioning with so that's it's
Country fried
interesting.
steak.
You have branded restaurants. These Pro Wrestling Tees that's a minor.
That's Pro Wrestling
Yeah.
Tees. That's where I got my Broken Skull T-shirt.
Yeah.
From yeah.
Well, I mean, it makes sense. Where else would you get a pro wrestling tee? rather
Hot
than
Topic?
Pro Wrestling? Well, Hot Topic. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Hot Topic we know has
There's Bullet
has the
Club
gear, so they're
t-shirts, yeah.
connected. But TGI Fridays Cracker Barrel, that's impressive to me.
Oh, yeah.
Because these guys obviously have heard of the event. I don't know if they're Chicago based. Maybe that's probably why. But
Let's search
I
it.
think
I
yeah.
could search
up.
that real quick.
Look it up.
Cracker Barrel.
Cracker Barrel is not Chicago
Tennessee?
based.
Nope.
That's
So
Tennessee.
that's that
but
makes it more
Tennessee's-
impressive.
But that's wrestling. Tennessee's southern.
And then
promotion.
TGI Fridays in New York. So
That's really impressive.
Yeah,
But they
good
were
thing to
actually,
reach out to them.
That they were going around to the major market cities and promoting All In. So I'm very impressed that they got the Sears Center and they've got two major sponsors that we wouldn't normally expect. That honestly, for an All In pay-per-view, maybe not even for a WWE pay-per-view, like Cracker Barrel and TGIF Fridays. This
You don't
is
see them working
huge.
for WWE like sponsors.
No, but maybe in the future. I think this is very impressive, and I think it shows that there is no excuse now for these independents to try to compete. And then you add on the fact that Ring of Honor and New Japan Pro Wrestling sold out a show in Madison Square Garden
Oh yeah.
on
G1
NXT night. And Nick,
Supercard.
I know you don't believe that is a smart idea because you're essentially competing against with another independent promotion
not smart.
with NXT. But I still think it's a big accomplishment because Madison Square Garden is the mecca of everything entertainment, and sports.
If anything, even though if it's not a good idea, I think it's a win-win for all wrestling fans. If anything, if you ask me.
yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, if you don't have anything to do on Saturday night because there's no, well, there's college football, so
Yeah,
there's not a lot of good games. They didn't really pick like the best weekend because it could have been they could have done it last weekend, would have
Yeah.
worked, and this weekend too. There's really only the two they probably could have done it on. So you cannot complete with SummerSlam.
But you
That's
want to
just
do it
not a
on
good
this
idea.
weekend because it's Labor Day weekend. People are have that extra day off.
Yeah.
Most normal people, not me. But
Oh, I don't have a day off.
do you have to work 12 hours? No.
7? But I think I work more strenuous than you,
No, you don't.
and I have to deal. Oh,
You have to deal
I
with
wanted to
the
tell you this. So,
How was the show last night?
well, the last 2 shows I've done at my concert venue have been very 2 shows I've done like I'm a musician. Done the shows. I work at a concert venue. So the last 2 headliners have been Kid Rock, and the last one was Marilyn Manson
and Rob
and
Zombie.
Rob Zombie.
Yeah.
Nothing but
So
WWE.
you got
Yeah.
So Kid Rock was awesome. He started this set with the WrestleMania song from this past year, Celebration or whatever.
So, yeah,
and then he
Celebration.
of course ended it with I don't know how to say the word, but it's his
Ball
most
with the
popular
Ball?
song. He did do the Undertaker's former theme too. there.
Damn, American Badass.
Yeah, that was awesome. Lots of fireworks to his show. Marilyn Manson ended with The Beautiful People, the former
Beautiful
SmackDown
Yeah,
People.
theme.
SmackDown's theme song.
And Rob Zombie and all of them did some of the more popular songs, but so a lot of WWE associated. I know you would appreciate that.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Rob Zombie, he let him borrow the song. Well, of course, "Never Gonna Stop," which used to be Edge's theme song. I'm not sure if he played it. The show.
I don't know. I
Okay.
don't follow them. So
Okay, so he also played, of course, mostly Super Beast and also, songs like Dracula. Oh yeah, definitely, dude. Rob Zombie.
yeah, it's just the last couple concerts they had Shinedown do
Yeah.
it. So the last couple concerts have been very WWE centric.
Oh,
so I
yeah.
thought I'd mention that on the podcast just because.
No, there you go, man.
You go to one of these shows, hey, you're gonna hear WWE stuff.
Oh yeah.
You know, especially Kid Rock had a lot.
Yeah.
It was like everything he played was all the
association
stuff
with
from
them, yeah.
WrestleMania this past year, so it was kind of cool to do that. But nonetheless, anything else to talk about with All In before we
I
end
just
this
hope
podcast?
it has a massive success, and I hope we see more All In because this is the future of professional wrestling, and this is how wrestling is going to survive if everybody literally is all in, just as the pay-per-view
Yeah,
name
it
says.
says Ring of Honor, Impact, New Japan, AAA, and NWA all combined for this.
Yeah.
This is
If this
stacked,
is-
dude.
If you can't beat them, join them. And at the end of the day,
Yeah, right.
if the WWE is that big
Yeah.
monster you want to take them down, then guess what? You got to find a way and be careful because Triple H could be seeing all of this as a tactic, as a ploy to work with you, and then he could just try to rot you out from within. So
This would be a very smart tactic from
which
Triple
is
H.
probably the tactic that he
Yeah.
wants to
He
go
wins.
with.
Yay, we have our big debut. Triple H wants to work with us, and then they all get taken back into WWE,
Yeah.
and then there's no independence anymore.
And there's no
Wow.
independence anymore, and then the WWE is just paying you like garbage.
Yeah, the problem is just there's not enough people on the independents. You have to eventually do something with WWE, don't you think? Or at least NXT. These are all the companies combining together. If this doesn't work out, you have to do
This
something
looks
with
bad
them.
on professional wrestling if it doesn't work
Yeah,
out.
that's true.
Yeah.
It looks
It's professional
bad.
wrestling in general.
I can't wait for our next podcast because I want to talk about what happened at All In. Isn't that
Yeah.
crazy? It's
Yeah.
not what's going to happen on Raw or SmackDown. Although
Or
Raw,
Hell in a Cell.
Although Raw and SmackDown have been pretty good lately.
I disagree on Raw, but keep going.
SmackDown's doing
you
okay.
disagree on Raw that every segment has been entertaining? If you look at the hour marks, those segments have been great.
All right, if you say so.
Seth
But
Rollins
keep
versus
going.
Kevin Owens this week.
That was a good match.
Okay, Elias and Trish Stratus.
Really? That was an hour mark? I don't think that was an hour
It was an
mark.
hour mark.
Really?
That's how
That was
you
a good
kind of
match.
gauge the show, to be honest.
I don't gauge a show
And then,
by that.
and then the main event ended up having an interesting finish.
I gauge a show by if you can keep me
And
interested.
then, but real quick,
the whole
the
entire
last
show.
Raw, you go back and look at the thing. There is stuff in the middle that's not interesting. You can't have championship after
Yes, you
know.
can.
You can't build it like the old
Just look
SmackDown
at-
versus Raw general manager.
Just look at
modes.
Monday Night Wars.
You can't do it. And then the Raw a couple weeks ago, Triple H was at the hour mark. Stephanie got her arm broken at the hour mark, and then the Shield came back and they had all that debacle. So I don't know what you're talking about, sir. You just are such a SmackDown homer that you cannot.
I am
get
a
Raw credit.
SmackDown homer.
See?
I will
But,
be honest.
I mean-
SmackDown's doing okay. Okay, it's improving.
At the end of the day,
Raw,
They have a
it's-
worse roster.
at the end of the day, when it comes down
Doesn't
to it,
matter.
if you're tired of what you're seeing on Raw and SmackDown, You got All In this weekend. If you want to support something, if you keep saying, hey, we need to support something, we need to support competition, now is your chance to make your voice heard. And you started with the 10,000 seats being sold out of Sears Center. Started off with StarCast being
in
a
like
huge
20
deal.
minutes too.
Go out and
Yeah,
buy the
that was
damn
fast.
podcast. Don't be like Nick and get it off a torrent site. Go out and buy the podcast, or go out and buy the show so you can actually show WWE, hey, we're tired of the same old shit that you're producing. We have this other alternative, and we will watch it if you don't continuously give us something we want to watch.
Amen.
If that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. But hey, if you're all at All In, man, do yourself a favor. Do us all a favor. Raise a glass in the sky and salute the ring generals.